got a little chubby going there.
What in the hell was that all about?
They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated?
Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses.
We always do about this time.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Refer to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
All right, what do you say we just dive right into it? Let's just dive right into it. Oh, hold on one sec. Lights on. Can't have the lights on in the background and expect to do a show. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on in this country, people? What is happening? I mean, I told you that the more people sifted through these emails, the crazier it was going to get. But I don't think I even had imagined how crazy it was going to get and how quickly it was going to get that crazy. But before we get into all the nonsense, all the craziness that's going on, it is Sunday, November 16th. This is Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Bryant. Please hit that like button on the way and subscribe to the channel. Holy shit, are you going to have to buckle in for today's show? I mean, we got the MAGA Civil War kicking off in more ways than one. We're going to be talking about, the coverage or non-coverage from, some pretty substantial commentators, on the right-wing MAGA sphere. Megyn Kelly defending Epstein. MAGA is really, really worried. There's a portion of MAGA that is extremely worried about what's going on right now with these Epstein files. And I'd put Donald Trump into that category. And then there's like a whole wing of MAGA that is like just trying to bury their thoughts, bury their brains into the deepest pit they could possibly find. And then they're just like, totally removing themselves from reality and then just kind of, like Megyn Kelly does, defending a pedophile or again, trying to make it seem like, none of these things actually, look like a smoking gun, which, admittedly, we have to go at least that far. None of these point directly to substantial evidence linking Donald Trump, but they are all put together. When you put all these together with all the information that we know from Donald Trump, they are definitely leading, they're definitely showing some smoke. And when there's smoke, there's fire, ladies and gentlemen. And there's obviously a reason as to why they are going so far in hiding the rest of these emails, the rest of these Epstein files. And we'll be talking about it all. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on with, I believe, Dana Bash. Let me see if I can throw this on the screen for you guys. I'll show you everything we're going to be kind of covering today. So obviously we'll be going over the email that everybody's talking about. I'll put this up here. The email heard around the world. Just your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Okay, let me cancel it. Let me cancel the old screen share and then we'll do it again. How about that? Remove. Stop screen, and then we'll share screen again. If you don't like it the first time, we'll do it the second time. How about that there, computer? I'll fix your tricks. I'll fix your tricks there, Cope. All right, here we go. So this is what, the email heard around the world that's, blowing up the MAGA sphere as we speak. We'll be talking about that. We'll be diving into, Truth Social. The fight on Truth Social has been glorious. Not only has Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump kind of been going toe-to-toe, but Donald Trump thinks he's posting, these gotcha moments where he's posting people like Jesse Waters, and it's just anything but. The shit that Donald Trump is now posting on his own is now pretty much like self-incriminating himself in this process. So we'll be taking a look at that. There's a few of these like different tweets from Marjorie Taylor Greene where she's going after, she's going after the MAGA base. She's going after Donald Trump. Like I said, she's on with the state, Dana Bash in the State of the Union. So I kind of wanted to dive into a little bit of that, see what she had to say. We'll be talking about, again, these MAGA commentators and just kind of, a sneak peek here as to what they're talking about. When you get videos like Trump is cooked, not a pedo, Megyn Kelly defends Epstein, Donica Lewinsky, this is, shit they're talking about Chuck Schumer. The same thing that they were talking about Chuck Schumer is now what they're saying about Donald Trump. So again, this slow roll into being able and more willing to call Donald Trump out is kind of what we're diving into. We also have Donald Trump just, again, making himself look like the biggest asshole on Air Force One in front of the press gaggle. We'll be diving into that. We should, in the terms, in the sense of journalistic integrity, we should probably mention this Raw Story video, this Raw Story article in which Jeffrey Epstein's brother kind of responds to the email that we'll be talking about. But, we'll have more to talk about on that as well. And then if we have time at the end of this, we'll be diving into more about the Ukraine front lines, and obviously this major scandal that's been rocking Ukraine for the last few days, what the implications might be. I'm not sure how much time we'll have at the end of this, but, just something that we definitely should be keeping one eye on at least. All right, so let's dive into this. Again, just in case anybody's been under a rock, why don't we throw this on the screen, so you can see the actual email that everybody's chattering about, the one that has set the internet on fire. And here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is right here. So basically, this is just, one of the more self-incriminating things that, is in these emails, along with, he knew exactly what was happening with the girls, spent a lot of time at my home with the victims, that type of thing. But, when you got, what everybody's been talking about as far as like, what dirt does Vladimir Putin have on Donald Trump? Is it a pee tape? Did he get shit on in a bed? Did he get pissed on in a bed? Was it like some kink that he had where like this person stayed in the bed, so he wanted to like desecrate it? Is it, something with Epstein? Is it something with this? Is it something like something has to be behind the scenes? And this kind of maybe points to what the hell everybody's been talking about, or at least, been suggesting around this time. But, you got here where it says, a while back you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. And I should mention this is Jeffrey Epstein with his brother. And again, Jeffrey Epstein with Steve Bannon at this moment in time, as you'll see in these emails where he says, yeah, all good, Bannon with me. So he says, a while back you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? All good, Bannon with me. And then it says here, if you can see in this little blue writing, sorry, if I can make it a little bigger, I will. There you go. How about that? So then it says here, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. And then everybody's looking at that like, Now, okay, we can only take that a few different ways, maybe only a couple different ways, and both of them not very good for Donald Trump in this. So obviously people have been speculating as to who this Bubba character is or what this Bubba character is. A lot of people talking about, Bill Clinton, his nickname being Bubba, the pictures with Bill Clinton, the association with Bill Clinton, the Epstein files, this whole thing. But again, just in the sake of journalistic integrity, and take this with the biggest grain of salt you could possibly have, according to who we're talking to here, Epstein's brother and the people involved here. But this is a Raw Story article where they just talk about his response to the email about Trump's sex act with Bubba. And he goes on to say that it basically had nothing to do any attempt to conflate that reference with President Clinton or to read sweeping implications onto them misrepresents both the purpose and the tone of the original correspondence. I want to be absolutely clear on this point so that the public record is not distorted and so that speculation does not unfairly implicate people who are not actually being referenced in those communications. Now, again, take this with a huge grain of salt. It could just be that he's, buddy with, Clinton, doesn't want to get him wrapped up in any of this. And this is just kind of the obfuscation that he's throwing out there. Again, these people, any of them involved here, you can't trust a word coming out of their mouth, which is, again, why we need the actual release of the files to confirm, corroborate, deny, release anybody from guilt. That's why we need those as opposed to taking these schmucks' words for it. But, again, just like I said, in the sake of journalistic integrity, just to show you that there has been a response about this. I don't want to be the, hopping on the train again. But it's just crazy that we're in this moment, ladies and gentlemen. It really is wild to see that we are in this moment talking about this and that Donald Trump, he actually thinks he's going to get himself out of this still, which is wild, especially when you see what we're going to be taking a look at here. The hardcore MAGA-ites, right? The people that have been down since day one, DTF for Donald J. Trump since day fucking one. And now they're on the outs. They're on the outskirts. People like Megyn Kelly having to fucking, stoop so low as to kind of, try to make it sound like, oh, was Epstein really a bad guy? Was it really that bad that they were 15, 14, 13? Like, you'll hear it because there's actually a MAGA commentator that calls her out. But, just to kind of get into a little bit of of some of the back and forth. This is posted by Marjorie Taylor Greene on True Social, and we'll take a look at the clip of her on with Dana Bash. We don't have to take a look at it now, but she writes, the women I've talked to over and over have said President Trump did nothing wrong. Some even told me they voted for him. I have no idea what's in the Epstein files, but they are the ones asking for them to be released. Their voices should be loudest, and I'm listening to them. And again, she's not getting too much love as far as the people on True Social, but you have to remember the people on True Social are probably the most sycophantic on there as terms of like Donald Trump bootlickers and coat hanger honors. But, this one, give it a break, Marjorie. Everybody is tired of you. Personally, all this Epstein crap is nothing but a public interest story, and I could give a rat's ass, is what this person says. Liberal Ripper. So again, these people just showing their true colors. Now they actually don't give a shit. Now that they know, or there's a really good chance that they've realized themselves that their dear leader, their dear Führer could be wrapped up in all of this in one way or another, right now, all of a sudden, we don't give a crap about this whole, Epstein thing. It's not a big deal, especially now that Marjorie Taylor Greene's calling it out. This one says, Furious George says, you should really fire your political consultants. They've convinced you to permanently destroy your political career. And these goes on. There's a couple in here that actually say, I can also, like and care for Donald Trump while also, caring and respecting about what Marjorie Taylor Greene says. But those are few and far between as per the responses on here. I think this one is kind of in favor of Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is what America First looks like, and it just shows that she's taking no AIPAC money. And with the 2028 labels, again, few and far between as per responses. You're a loser, too late, bimbo. It says, shut up, Marge, please stop it. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on. So again, this MAGA battle, the MAGA civil war, is now spreading to places and people that, again, were represented as some of the tightest knit people in this community, the best representatives of this community. Donald Trump, time and time again, giving her endorsement. And we'll talk about, Donald Trump here, even going as far as to remove his endorsement. Publicly call out Marjorie Taylor Greene in multiple True Social posts that we'll take a look at. So again, I just kind of wanted to show you that this battle is ongoing, even in these MAGA spaces. This isn't just like a YouTube, Twitter type thing. Like, this is in the most heavily trafficked of MAGA spaces that this is going on. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to get, it seemed like she's still trying to walk that line, right? Doesn't it seem like she's still trying to walk that fine line? Like, the women I've talked to over and over have said President Trump did nothing wrong. So then why the fuck has he not been more supportive? Why doesn't he release these files? Why was he even actively engaged with this person? If he's, to be held on such a high level, on, put on a pedestal, why engaged? Why be involved with this man for over 20 years and be seen partying with him and, yada, 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 doing business deals, living right next to the guy? I mean, all of the questions that we all know. But let's move on to, I'll show you. I was going to show you, this is where he posts. Yeah, this is where he posts. This is Donald Trump on his True Social posting, quote, fucking True Social. I can't stand this site. It is just the biggest bag of bullshit. It really is. Just every 30 seconds, they're so fucking paranoid and anxious. And it just every 30 seconds, you got to verify you're a human on a site where most of the people on here aren't fucking humans. But, that's beyond the point. But this is Donald Trump posting the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And again, this is a Jesse Waters video, but I think before we get into the Jesse Waters video, we should probably play some of or show you some of Donald Trump's recent tweets, True Social posts here, and then we'll go into that Jesse Waters clip. I think it's about 5 minutes long, and it's very easily debunkable, and it's fucking laughable the way in which that these people try to propagandize in North Korea style, lick the boot of Donald Trump. But yeah, this is just, let's go back just a little bit here. Some of this craziness that he's been posting. I think we could probably start somewhere in this area where he says, we'll start with this Thomas Massey one. How about that? We'll start with Thomas Massey. So obviously Thomas Massey been involved with Marjorie Taylor Greene in representing the Epstein victims. He was one of the ones at that major press conference that they had that Donald Trump was really, really upset about. So he posts, and again, this was November 14th at 5:12 p.m. Did Thomas Massey, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr., because of the fact that he always votes against the Republican Party, get married already with 3 question marks? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than an 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life, Thomas, and question mark in parentheses. His wife will soon find out that she's stuck with a loser. Okay, now this is, again, Donald Trump going after Thomas Massey for, again, representing rape victims. for representing victims that have been sexually trafficked, that have been molested, that have been abused, that are seeking justice, that are seeking retribution, that want to see these people held accountable. And Donald Trump is now publicly shredding him or attempting to shred him on his own platform because he's now representing those women. Again, that have been caught up in this fucking horrid case. So that's just one of them. And then he goes on. The very next one that he posts is about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And look at this book. Like, tell me this hasn't been weighing heavily on this asshole's mind, right? So again, buckle up because he is formally withdrawing his support for Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen. Formally withdrawing support, again, for somebody speaking up in this instance for victims that have been sexually abused, sexually trafficked, manipulated, molested, you name it. And Donald Trump is withdrawing his support. I mean, if this isn't one of the more telling things, right? I mean, again, if this doesn't point to the character of this asshole as to how bad he wants this covered up, as to his possible connections to this, whether it be financial, whether it be just supplying the underage girls from his spa at Mar-a-Lago, whether he's actively engaged in the sexual acts, it remains to be seen. But again, if you were, wholly innocent and had all of the corroborating evidence to suggest and prove your innocence, how quick would you, in the chat, people, how quick would you want that evidence to be released? How quick would you be at the doorstep of Channel 5 or Channel 7 or Fox News saying, here, take it, read through them all, and then once you fucking, send me your apology once you're done. How about that? Because I know I'm innocent, and here's the files to prove it. But that's not what's going on, is it? That's not what's happening. So let's get into this. I'll make it a little bigger so it might be a little bit easy for you to see. Not that you guys actually give a shite. Nope, that's a little bit too big. All right, so here he goes. This is Donald Trump again. Let's see what time he posted this at. So this is, again, on the 14th, just after that post, so 5:31. And he says, quote, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of the, quote, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements, record capitalized, achievements capitalized, country capitalized, for God knows whatever reason, for our country, including a total capitalized and complete capitalized, victory capitalized, on the shutdowns capitalized, closed borders, both closed and borders is capitalized, low taxes capitalized, no men and women sports capitalized, ending DEI, ending not capitalized, DEI all capitalized, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected, all capitalized by every country in the world. Again, all of that being like incredibly erroneous, incredibly false, and provably so. Every one of those statements, pretty much, as opposed to being the laughingstock that we were just 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the USA, and having created the, quote, hottest, all capital, and in quotations, country anywhere in the world, from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more in capitalized, and got an exclamation point in there. All I see is wacky, capital W, and in quotations. This is fucking crazy. Oh, I feel like a teacher correcting somebody that's never written before, like an essay from somebody it's like their first time writing the English language. Marjorie, all I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor, was at 12% and didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, yeah, that's what people would call your life. There you go. I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. God damn. Calling her a ranting lunatic at this point. Like, you can tell how much this has gotten under Donald Trump's skin. Like, this isn't just like, okay, she's speaking about something I don't like, so let's kind of, distance ourselves. This is like, I am fucking furious that she has the gall, that she would even consider talking about this when we're trying to sweep it under the rug, when we're physically and actively engaged in the biggest government cover-up, the biggest government conspiracy in our nation's history, quite possibly. And she's out there talking about it with fucking Dana Bash. Like he's just going out of his fucking shirt on this one. So he says, I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia. This is Donald Trump again, instructing people to primary Marjorie Taylor Greene in her district. He hadn't heard of a goddamn fucking person. I can guarantee you that. They're fed up with her antics. If the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left. Marjorie Taylor Greene has gone far left, according to Donald Trump, in case you were just, on the edge of wondering if Donald Trump was still living in reality at any point. And there's your answer right there. He thinks Marge has gone far left, which is fucking laughable. Even doing The View with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Again, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call. And she being a ranting lunatic, again, because of her support in this very instance for victims that have been sexually trafficked, sexually abused, manipulated, molested, you name it. And this has happened to these victims in this egregious case. And again, Thomas Massey in, flowers, only where flowers are due in this case, at least standing on the right side of this. While again, Marjorie Taylor Greene still trying to do that tiptoe of being like, well, I still don't think Donald Trump has any real involvement in this, and then I think there was one more. Let me see if there was one more that I wanted to show you as well. Yeah, here it is. Lightweight Congresswoman. So this is another one. This was a day ago from Trump as well. Can you see that all right? Do I need to make that any bigger? It looks like it's okay on the screen for you guys to see, but just in case, I'll make it just a little bigger. All right, yeah, there you go. How's that? It should be fully on the screen. All right. Donald Trump says, and this is November 15th, so yesterday at 5:40 a.m., fucking hell. Lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown, grass turns brown when it begins to... Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Oh, my Jesus Christ. All right. I see what he's doing there. Betrayed by the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly on the pathetic View and became the rhino that we all knew she always was. Just another fake politician, no different than Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only rhino. Make America great again. Oh, it's just fucking glorious to see. It really is. And again, the subject matter is so serious, and it, so deadly serious. But again, that shouldn't stop us from at least recognizing what this is doing to these people and how, again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, while trying to be on the right side of this conversation, still can't help but dip her toe back into the Donald Trump butthole pool and making it seem like, I don't know why it makes no sense to me. Everybody says he's so goddamn innocent. It doesn't make no sense. He ain't released them files. Like, geez, I wonder. It's crazy to me why you couldn't think that. And here's another one. Was this? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, this is the first one. Was this the first one? Oh, yeah, because this is him retruthing it. So he didn't think it got enough play the first time of him withdrawing his support for Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. So he had to retruth it himself, which is when that's when your party, your platform's doing well, or at least your account in particular is doing well when you gotta, you're doing that. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh boy, oh shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our Republican Party. And that's before she went on with Dana Bash, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, boy. Here he is calling out Seth Meyers. Let's see here. That's where he's calling out more rhinos. He actually had reposted, and we'll go back to this video here from Jesse Waters. But he actually had reposted this, and it was at the top of his page, but he somehow either deleted the repost or retruth or whatever the fuck they call it on this fucking tits up site they got here. But maybe he didn't like it. It didn't think it actually looked as good as he thought afterwards because he didn't seem to be retruth anymore. But yeah, this is Donald Trump posting the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Still trying to get everybody to go along with that tagline there. And this is Jesse Waters, who does absolutely no favors whatsoever for Donald Trump in this situation. We'll check out just a couple of minutes of this, and then we'll move on a little bit. But again, yeah, Jesse Waters here trying to define this Democrat hoax and how none of these emails have any way implicated Donald Trump in any wrongdoing whatsoever. I love it. These fucking people. When they look back on this, when Jeff, I mean, come on, just for a second. Can I just for a second, just bear with me. In I don't know, 25, 35 years, when Jesse Waters getting on, when he finally retires, he's sitting down with his fucking grandson or granddaughter on his lap and his knee telling stories. And like they're showing him clips. They're bringing up clips on like the world's fastest internet of everything that Jesse said while he was a Fox News anchor and kissing Donald Trump's ass. All the embarrassing, like, straw talk, being humiliated by his mother on national television. The list goes on of ways that this man has just absolutely continued to sniff the anus of Donald Trump live for the viewing of Fox News fucking viewers on a nightly basis. Again, taking the place of Tucker Carlson. But yeah, this is, I'm just curious of, how they're going to be able to look their own family in the face just a little bit down the line, or if they're even going to give a shit, right? Or if it even affects them. But all right, Jesse Waters, hit that like button, guys, please. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. This mess is just unbelievable. Just think of what's going on around the world, and we're talking about blowjobs with past presidents and trying to figure out if Bubba was a horse or if Bubba was a former president. That's what we're doing. While people are, again, going hungry, they have no homes, fucking job, job offers and job, percentages on the, dropping drastically as to, how many jobs are out there for people to get. I mean, it's just every economic status that you could probably fucking point to right now is on the decline. Not to mention, again, the tariffs on our trade partners. Not to mention the ongoing threats of active war posed by this regime against several different countries. Again, on top of that, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Donald Trump's emails, his involvement in the Epstein files, and whether or not he actually blew former President Bill Clinton. That's what we're talking about. All right. Here we go. All right, hit that like. Let's fucking go.
Democrats want you to forget all about the shutdown shellacking. So they're launching a smear campaign disguised as a bombshell. The Jeffrey Epstein emails. Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to.
Well, wasn't it the? I believe it was the oversight committee that had released a few, but then it was the GOP that said, "Well, we're just going to flood the zone. We're just going to flood the airwaves with about 22,000, give or take a few thousand on that one." But you might want to get the timeline and the facts right at least, if you're going to go on here and try to defend both a pedophile and the current president for being engaged and affiliated in a long-lasting, long-term relationship with both of the ringleaders in this case, both Ghislaine Maxwell, who we've seen receive like ridiculously favorable treatment when again it shouldn't have been done in the first place. When again the first facility that she was at was technically too cushy for her, depending on going up by what she was convicted of, right? And then being sent, having that waiver signed and being sent to an even cushier position, an even cushier spot, handed a puppy, given special access and after hours fucking privileges. And you wonder why even the guards at this place, at this facility, are even getting pissed off at how well she's having to be treated. And nobody can comment as to what Donald Trump's intentions are, or if he's not thinking or willing to give her a pardon. I mean, we have to put all of this together as we listen to Jesse Waters climb out of the anus of Donald Trump right now.
Frame Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything nailing Trump.
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing that Fox News has deemed necessary or worthy to bring up in conversation that relates, again, to Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, and the asshole that they love to sniff, and the pedophile ring and the cover-up of that pedophile ring now actively ongoing by this fucking government. I mean, just nothing in there. Not the lines about him knowing about all the girls and what's been going on. Again, not the line about him spending ample amount of time with Virginia Giuffre at Epstein's place. Not the flight logs. Not the pictures of him partying, not the fact that he himself was brought up that he was told that Jeffrey Epstein was poaching underage girls from the fucking spa at Mar-a-Lago. More than once, had to be told twice, at least on 2 different occasions. And then that the membership of Jeffrey Epstein was just, mysteriously active at Mar-a-Lago till 2007. I mean, Jesus, it's crazy that Fox News just hasn't deemed any of this necessary for them to report on. And again, are doing the opposite, saying that nothing was in there. There was nothing.
Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun.
No, but very, very large amounts of circumstantial evidence, right? Very large amount of evidence that would absolutely put somebody in the bad spotlight. I mean, I said it the other day on the show. If you know, the FBI or the CIA or the DOJ just happened to get a hold of some fucking text messages or recordings of calls from, I don't know, the Irish mafia or the IRA, the drug cartels down in Mexico, and my name was brought up, but your name was brought up several different times in 1,000 different emails, chances are they'd probably do some fucking digging into you. They'd probably be like, maybe we should figure out who this Boston Brian character is being named by the two most horrendous people on the face of the planet that we know right now. Like, wouldn't that be something that would lead you to be, especially if that guy's now the president of the United States, actively engaged in the fucking cover-up and conspiracy? Like, I don't know, but that's just probably a normal way of thinking and not what Fox News is here for. They're here to pay billions of dollars, regardless, at any point, to make sure that Donald Trump and the Republican Party stay in power so that they can grift and steal and cheat off the backs of the American people. And obviously, anybody that wants to come here seeking a better life.
The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals.
But wait a minute, but not Epstein's deep ties to Trump. It shows their just unreal, these fucking people. I just don't understand. Like, I almost feel like, you know, that like tactic of I think it was in like Ocean's 11 where they're trying to pass the lie detector test and the guy has the tack in his shoe and like he just kind of puts his foot down on the tack every time he has to lie. So it kind of like does something. I don't know what the fuck it does, but it does something to the machine. Like, that's what I feel like Jesse Waters must do. Like, I feel like somebody's just like slapping him in the nuts under the desk every time he has to say stupid shit like this. So that, like, you know, it like keeps him on his toes. So he, like, you know, it keeps him looking fucking alive and he doesn't just melt in front of the cameras. Like, there must be, I don't know, like somebody with a spiked bat just sitting there hitting him repeatedly in the nuts every single time he has to make a fucking degenerate statement and go on his show to defend people like Donald Trump for their involvement with people like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, especially knowing what he knows. You know what I mean? But again, that's just my theory.
Like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff.
Yep, scumbaggy. All of them. And the other New York Times reporter, scumbags, every single one of them. Absolutely. But that does not, take Donald Trump out of the picture. That does not free him of any guilt. You see what's going on here? This is the whataboutism a portion of the Fox News broadcast. This is how you whataboutism your fans. Well, yeah, they're saying that Donald Trump did this, but what about these people over here? Like, okay, can we go back to the original story of the guy that's, you know, right now sitting in the Oval Office? Can we go, yeah, but what about the people over there? No, I want to, like, shut the fuck up, Jesse.
He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he said,
that's not blackmail. That's more saying the guy's a moron and we should let him dig his own grave, right? That's basically saying let Trump dig his own grave. That's basically that's telling Jeffrey Epstein not to do a damn thing, right there. So again, he's trying to make it seem like, you know, again, as scumbaggery, as scumbaggery. Fuck, I fucked that one up, but I tried. As much as scumbags these people are, right? Like, he's trying to make it seem like this right here proves that there was some like ongoing conspiracy to make Donald Trump look worse. But this is just him, Michael Wolff, being a scumbag, but instructing another scumbag to let Donald Trump, again, give him the rope to hang himself with. You know, give him the shovel to dig his own grave because he will put himself there. You don't have to do a damn thing. Right. That's why he says that will give you valuable PR and political currency. Just let him do his thing. So it's the opposite, basically, of what Jesse Waters is trying to get this across as. Right. So, again, try not to be fooled by this bullshit. Even though all of these scumbags involved are absolute scumbags, that's not what's going on. Read that. I think you should let him hang himself. It's clearly stated right there in the comment. Basically, don't do a damn thing. Let him go out there. And again, we'll give him just enough rope to let him hang himself with. Again, strange choice of words considering what ended up happening in the future. But, you know, what are you going to do about that? But again, just to call out Jesse Waters' bullshit and the examples that they're trying to use to try to, again, whataboutism, obfuscate, look the other way, point the other direction so that you're not talking about Donald Trump.
Because he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Why is Wolf giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take?
Again, that question I fucking can get down with. That question, Jesse, I agree with. What the fuck is this guy doing giving PR advice? But again, that doesn't, what you said before, prove like this ongoing conspiracy to either involve Donald Trump where he's not involved or take him down because of his power level. That's, again, what you tried to bring that clip up as, not so much the PR aspect of it.
Take down the president. That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book.
Yep, and like we said on this show, probably before this came out, that guy also a scumbag, along with all the other scumbags involved in this case.
That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation.
Right, scumbag, like we said.
Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama.
So, but do you see what's going on here? This is, okay, how many other people can we name? Right? This is, how many other people can we name right now? And I think Donald Trump did this too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he also put out a recent post. Did I miss that post somewhere? Because I thought he put out a post with, let me see if I can, or was it before that, where he put out the names of, like, you know, Larry Summers and these other idiots. And he talked about the head of Harvard. I'm looking here in the background to see if I can spot it real quick. Jesse might even bring it up on the show if I'm not mistaken. But Donald Trump also, you know, has a post along these same lines of like, all right, I'm just going to say as many names as I could possibly get out there in a single post so that people have other, you know, areas to look at, that they start looking in other directions as opposed to me. But it's not looking, because it's like, okay, how do you know all this shit? Okay. How do you know about these people's involvement? How do you know that we should be, you know, looking into these people? Sorry, my shirt's all screwed up. Look, I just got in a fight. How do you know what is your, how are you getting this information? Like, can you, again, it's just putting him in a more difficult situation, you know, as he goes on, and he's trying to do the complete opposite, which is hilarious. But I'm not exactly sure. I'll go back to Jesse here. He might actually show it in this video. So we'll go on with this asshole just for a couple more minutes, and then we'll dive on here, because this is pure and total propaganda from Fox News trying to obfuscate. And again, the worst instance they could possibly choose to obfuscate and do whataboutisms. Again, in the Jeffrey Epstein case about child sex trafficking and child pedophilia and high profile clientele in some of the most high profile positions in the fucking on the planet. And you got Fox News doing propaganda work for these people.
Obama was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice?
Man, and it's like almost crazy that like we have video of Donald Trump actively talking to Jeffrey Epstein about women. Like, it's almost like you could play that on your show right after that, Jesse, and be like, oh, look, I mean, if we're talking about involvement and why you'd be speaking to Jeffrey Epstein ever, knowing what he's involved in, how about you play the fucking breadth of videos and pictures that Donald Trump has sitting around Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and partying it the fuck up with these people in Palm Beach? Huh? Why don't you show those videos on there? That may not go along with your narrative. That might blow up the whole narrative there, would it?
Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media. He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump.
Now, imagine being Fox News and thinking that this angle, that the angle they're taking right now, that Jeffrey Epstein was somehow involved with talks with Vladimir Putin to get dirty shit that Donald Trump wouldn't like, shit that he wouldn't want released to the public, to Vladimir Putin to then manhandle so they had power over Donald Trump. Right? The same thing that they have been calling this like incredible fucking leftist progressive Democrat fucking hoax conspiracy theory that we've been talking about. Like, it seems like Vladimir Putin might have something on this asshole that this asshole might not want the public to see, which is why he's given them so much time, why he's afforded them so many different deadlines, why he's so buddy-buddy, why he's more than willing to take the word of Vladimir Putin and their intelligence agencies over the United States intelligence agencies like he did in Helsinki not long after this, right? And Fox News actually believes in this moment in time that they're like doing Donald Trump a favor. Like they're making it look like it's just Epstein and not Trump. Like this couldn't be bad for Trump.
Which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight?
To better control the president of... Does this motherfucker not know how compromat works? Does he not know what how the whole blackmail thing works? Like, does he not realize, like, the reason Jeffrey Epstein may have had these hidden recording devices and cameras all throughout his premises on all of his properties? Like, does there, because it makes it more easy, gives you a little bit more leverage over a human being. Again, when you have something physical in your hands to show them and be like, hey, I'm going to send this right to fucking Fox News if you don't do A, B, C, D, and E. So again, as to why Vladimir Putin I don't think he would need it necessarily, considering he could walk circles around Donald Trump in a heartbeat on the foreign stage. But definitely is something that Vladimir Putin and Russia are actively seeking out to enhance their position at the negotiating table, to give them more leverage so that they can hold more cards in their hands than the other players do at their table, affording them to put together a better fucking hand. Right? They can keep that in their back pocket. If they ever have to use it, they can. Maybe they don't ever have to use it. But to suggest or ask on the most widely watched news network in the country, like, why would Putin from Russia want, like compromise on the United States president? Doesn't make any sense. Is hilarious. Is adorable. It really is adorable.
He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia.
And again, the fact that they're willing to bring this part of it up to this, knowing the pro-Israel stance that Fox News has taken, Rupert Murdoch has taken, the fact that they're willing to, put this in there just tells you how desperate they are to get you to look at any other piece of the pie. Just any other piece of the puzzle that you can focus on. Please focus on that. We'll even give you this that makes Israel look bad, that makes Mossad look bad, that makes, Benjamin Netanyahu and the government of Israel look bad. Like that's again, you have to put this in the bigger picture and realize who's talking about this, what channel they're talking about it on, and how willing or unwilling they were before to, again, mention stuff like this. But just, now that all these emails have come out and the speculation has started and the fuel has been added to the flames, now they're like, okay, let's give these people, this is the chum in the waters for their MAGA base, again, to get them to look left when Donald Trump is sitting there with the fucking, the bloody knife on the right-hand side. You know what I'm saying? It
wasn't a secret. Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times.
Excuse me, Bubba, get it right. Get his name right. I don't think Jeffrey, his brother, or Donald would like it if you call me misnaming him. Don't be misnaming him.
Times. And Slick Willie was
again, and for the sake of journalistic integrity, it was said by Jeffrey Epstein's brother that it wasn't Bubba, but again, take that with a grain of salt because they're all scumbags, they're all schmucks, and they're all liars involved. So again, I don't believe a damn word, and I'm going with it until proven otherwise. So you can tell me it was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse, and then I'll run with that too.
Frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express.
And who else was on those flight logs? You see how stupid they are? You see how fucking stupid these people are to bring up like Clinton flew on the planes. Like, okay, let's see here. Was there another guy that I could think of that was, plainly listed on those flight logs several times? Oh yeah, Donald Trump. So are you is that the next segment where you talk about his involvement in these flight logs? Like, again, the picking and choosing of facts here just makes them look so much worse. It just makes them look so much more incompetent. It's going to come back to bite them so much harder in the asshole when this breaks, when this actually comes down to brass tacks, or when we actually get, deeper into fucking midterms and people are sick and tired of being lied to when they can see what's going on in front of their fucking faces, right? By assholes like this, schmucks, sleazy schmucks like this asshole.
Like pals. But when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met
Jeffrey. And again, they're playing this on Fox News, ladies and gentlemen. They're playing on Fox News with the worst possible person on the face of the earth, also engaged with the other worst person, being Ghislaine Maxwell, on the face of the earth, talking to family members who definitely knew what was going on, making them the worst people on the face of the earth, talking about Donald Trump as if he is like out of this world terrible. Like if he is just above and beyond everybody else in this game, everybody else in this situation, not a decent person, right? So it says, I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body. And they're going to play this like this is a good thing. They're going to try to play this and spin this as if it's a good thing for Donald Trump that Jeffrey Epstein thinks even he is a scumbag. Even he doesn't have a decent cell in his body, right? So when, like, it's like that whole game recognizes game, Donald Trump would probably bring this up as, like, this is one monstrous fucking piece of shit recognizing the monstrous piece of shit nature in another human being. And this is Fox News bringing this up, trying to make it seem like it goes on Donald Trump's behalf. I shit you not.
Some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Trump should wear that like a badge of honor.
Now, how deluded, how fucking deluded do you have to be like, you know what? Donald Trump should definitely wear that as a badge of honor. That pedophile, that fucking egregious, monstrous piece of shit seen on screen, hugging and kissing the other egregious, monstrous piece of shit who has already been convicted, and sent to a cushy prison by this administration. That person is now calling the president and the guy that you love, Jesse, even more of a scumbag. Is even less decent than these people. And somehow Donald Trump's going to wear that as a badge of honor. I wouldn't put it past him that he would, but I'm not sure the American people would see it the way that you're trying to portray it, is what I'm saying.
Slimiest guy in the world, hating you is a good thing. Epstein even admitted Trump, quote, never got a massage.
Yeah, but again, multiple different ways in which you can engage in sexual activities with a minor that doesn't involve a massage. So again, does not, expunge Donald Trump from any of these, allegations or crimes. Again, we haven't ruled out the fact that it could be purely financial, where he either profited or in somehow, used loans or, used money exchanges with underage girls that he had working. Maybe he was just, again, the supplier of the underage girls themselves. We don't know. That's why we need the Epstein files released, so that we could know. And again, as everybody says, if you were a completely honest and innocent man, those files would have been on the doorstep of every major news network fucking 7 months, 8 months ago. Maybe before. You know what I mean? And that's just not happened. So the fact that he says he never got a massage, again, unless that went on to say he never got anything, like he never did anything wrong, like, which doesn't clearly, is not shown on this one. There's multiple different ways in which he could have engaged in criminalities in this fucking situation that didn't involve a massage. So again, the fact that Fox News is putting this on there, like, this is the Alan Dershowitz, I kept my underwear on defense right here. Fox News is now playing that for Donald Trump. He never got a massage, though. Like, I know you've seen the pictures of the underage girls with him on the plane, and he's on the flight logs, and, the pictures of him partying with Epstein, and all the, the times that he told Epstein a great guy and told him how he liked him young and beautiful and all that. I'll put all that aside. He never got a massage, though. Like, yeah, okay, well, what did he get then? Why is he not releasing the files? Because if he didn't get a massage, he damn sure got fucking something. I can tell you that much.
The same author Epstein colluded with even said this.
Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police.
Now, again, the same guy that Jesse Waters just called out on this specific segment as being completely untrustworthy and is doing PR spin for Jeffrey Epstein, he's now using that same person's words, kind of like, who brings this up? Hal brings this up all the time in a pretty good manner, where it's like people like Tim Pool, people like Patrick Bet-David, people like Benny Johnson are so willing and all the time calling out the mainstream media, calling out CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington, whatever it may be. But then also when you pull up their show, when you pull up their channel, guess what the fuck they're using as the first line of fucking defense in their, in their stupid arguments is a New York Times article or a CNN clip or, this, network that they don't like, or they're talking about what MSNBC said, right? So this is no different. So this is, again, we're going to do the Alan Dershowitz. I was there, but I kept my underwear on with the, Trump didn't get a massage theory. And now don't, totally forget about the guy that I told you was untrustworthy and is a scumbag for doing PR for a pedophile. And now we're going to listen to his words, and that's going to get Donald Trump off the hook. Like, what? Hello? So again, before we waste too much time on Jesse, I think you kind of get the flow and the picture on that one. He does just more. He goes on to play more, again, completely obfuscating points. He plays a little bit of Stephen A. Smith, and then he goes on with an interview with some asshole at the end. So I think we touch base. But here, just to kind of prove a point, though, like, let's see. It's also striking. It's striking who's talking about this, but it's also very telling who's not talking about this. Okay, so let me throw this on the screen, right? So here's Benny Johnson, again, one of the biggest creators on the right, something like 6.08 million subscribers. And what is just like clearly and obviously absent from his recent coverage of what's been going on in the world of, politics, news in general? Do you see anything here about Epstein? Do you see anything here about Epstein emails, Epstein files, Marjorie Taylor Greene, anything like that? Okay, so not until this one right here where he talks about Bill Clinton, right? But again, then you can go to Tim Pool, same type of thing. Talking about Gen Z dating, right? Talking about MAGA revolts after Trump defends H-1B visas, LGBTQ in schools, OnlyFans, girls roasted, everything but the Epstein files, as you can see here from old Timmy Boy. Absolutely nothing. Ton about Zoran, but just nothing about the Epstein files. Fox News. Do you think Fox News would be all over it, right? We just saw Jesse Waters, but let's take a look. BBC paralyzed. Mexican palace swarmed. Weather, Jimmy Failure. Nope. Let's see. Abomination from TP USA. Veterans. Nope. Seattle business. So nothing here even from Fox News about this stuff? Geez, you'd almost have to wonder as to why they'd be hiding it from their viewers, why they wouldn't be discussing this. Is it the bad look? No matter how, no matter which angle they try to approach this from, that it just leaves them, again, with a completely sour taste in their mouth, them and the viewers? Is it something like that? Because you would think the biggest fucking commentators, the biggest news network on the right, the biggest use of propaganda by MAGA, Benny Johnson, one of the biggest creators, period, Tim Pool with almost 1.5 million subscribers. You'd think it'd be something that they'd be talking about, but apparently not. But let's see if I can go on. Somebody that is talking about this, and then again, I'll put this on the screen. And this is, just another episode, another situation here with Madge, where she's talking about President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all. But I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge. The Epstein files. Of course, he's coming after me hard, trying to make an example to scare all other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. Probably, and again, only flowers, in a very fucking minute situation, which is that specific sentence, has she gotten this spot on, right? Because that is absolutely what Donald Trump is doing here. This is a message. This is a clear threat being sent to not only Marjorie Taylor Greene, but anybody else, Thomas Massey, anybody else that is thinking about signing on to these, the release of the Epstein files. Anybody that even thinks about getting in front of a camera or a microphone and, making Donald Trump look bad, or in any way making it seem like these files are going to come out, you're going to get the full fury. You are going to get the full wrath. No more endorsements. Doesn't care. It doesn't matter how close we once were, how many times you got my endorsement in the past, how many times we did fucking parkour, or how many times you blew me in the back of the jet. Your endorsement will be fucking revoked. And she goes on here to say that it's astonishing. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, that he actually goes to this level. Now, do you think there might be a reason? Why are you that astonished? And this is her, again, even as Donald Trump's attacking her, still trying to dip her fucking toe in the bullshit pool that is MAGA, right? where she's like, I'm like astonished how hard he's fighting to keep these things a secret. I don't understand why. There's not a situation that I could comprehend in this whole thing in which it would lead me to believe there's a situation why he would keep these things secret. I don't know. But anyway, he's really fighting me. And then, she goes on to talk about really most Americans wish he would fight this, which he's not going to do, yada, yada, yada. And again, just to kind of show you, we'll stay on theme. So let's do a little bit of her talking to Dana Bash, why don't we? Because I'm curious, how hard she decided to go after Donald Trump in this, or if again she's trying to do more of this, trying to look like she's on the right side of history while also again dipping her toe in the MAGA pool at the same time. But so again, here's Dana Bash with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Does she come on right away? Yeah, she comes on right away. So we'll just play a little bit of this.
It's the political breakup heard round the world.
Political breakup heard round the settle down, CNN, settle down.
President Trump severing ties with at least one of his closest allies, declaring, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, even calling for primary challenges against his one-time loyalists and attacking her as, quote, wacky, a ranting lunatic, a rhino, and a traitor. This is days before the House of Representatives is set to vote on releasing the Epstein files. It's a stunning breach between two MAGA leaders, one of whom is here with me now exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Thank you so much for being here. As you just heard, and I know you saw, the president says he's withdrawing support for you, encouraging primary challengers. You were one of his biggest supporters. What do you think happened here?
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on. And that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration. And I support—
as again, they're actively engaged in this conspiracy and cover up of the thing that you deem to be so very important. I don't understand how you could, again, wait. And she is doing exactly what I thought she was going to do. She's probably, again, going to be willing to call him out at some point while also trying to, again, keep herself just having that slightest bit of chance of remaining in that MAGA base, right? Like, again, why would you still defend and support an administration that is actively fighting you on what is, again, to you and what you say so overwhelmingly obvious to the American people what should be done here? But you're actively getting stonewalled by nobody greater than this administration, but yet you still support that administration. Like, it just, again, it's ridiculous to me that these people just are so cowed, right? They're so fucking bent to this cult that they, even when they do manage to start seeing a glimmer of light, they just cannot pull themselves towards it quick enough to get themselves out of the hole. They just love taking that last look back, right? That last look back and be like, oh, do I really want to leave? It's like, get the fuck out, Jesus Christ.
Them and delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is
It's fucking important. It's important. It's not important. There's no D in that one. There ain't no D in that one, ma'am. It's important. God damn it.
End the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems.
No, and actively, you could throw the MAGA base into that little list you had there, because that's what it's doing now. It's completely tearing up the MAGA base. And again, this is just, maybe one of the bigger aspects to it. But again, the anti-Israel, pro-Israel aspect and the whole Charlie Kirk murder conspiracy theory bullshit that's still active and ongoing is another aspect in this. And again, all roads point back to one of those three situations involved in now this, again, ongoing MAGA civil war.
The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is—
thank you guys. I apologize. I've been so kind of wrapped up in what's been going on. Thank you to the 20 people that have been kind enough to share a super chat or a super sticker or have reached a milestone. Thank you guys so very much. Stick around to the end of the show. I make sure to send a shout out and highlight and congratulate and thank everybody that has sent in a super chat or a super sticker. Again, I apologize if it went by in the chat, but again, I've been kind of focused on running the show. So please make sure you stick around to the end, and I'll get you the praise that you deserve. So thank you, everybody. Again, there's Venmo up in the corner too. If you want to send a buck or two, try to support independent media. It would go a very long way. That's all I ask for. Anything more than that is totally up to you. And then you can become a channel member just underneath me, or sign up for our monthly Zooms and support the channel at patreon.com/Boston Brian. So thank you guys very much. Again, to the mods, to everybody, you guys have all been fantastic throughout this journey. And, I can't thank you guys enough. So appreciate you.
Called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
All right. So now she's taking it as a direct threat here from Donald Trump, apparently. So again, when you're talking about, like, how deep does this fight go? Like, how deep, like how far is Donald Trump willing to go in calling out people that, again, did everything they possibly could to support him and get him elected, even though the only thing that they disagree on, or the only thing that they can't come to terms on, is the Epstein files, right? Like, that's like, again, it's like, I'm kind of curious, and this is kind of people getting their answer here, where, it's almost like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's taking this as an active and ongoing threat from the president of the United States, because, again, she's out there defending the victims of child sex trafficking and abuse, and, again, manipulation, and, just egregious acts, egregious crimes committed against these girls.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason?
What do you think happened? What do you think's the reason? Fucking Dana, like, these fucking people crack me up. Like, just ask the question. We're all like, do you believe he has direct involvement, and that's the reason he's now covering this up and calling you out? What else could there possibly be? Stop beating around the fucking bush. You guys both look like morons. Like, geez, I wonder, what is it? What could possibly be the reason as to Donald Trump being, like, so mad at you about calling this shit out? It's crazy. I'll ask you, because I don't know myself. I can't come up with a fucking theory. Like, Jesus.
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files. And that.
Okay, and what's the next logical step, Marge? Fucking travel with me here. Step in my footsteps. It's a little easier in deep snow, I know. But just come on. You can do it. What's that next logical step there? It's the Epstein files. So then what would be the next thought there? What would be? Maybe his involvement in the Epstein files.
It is shocking. And, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with.
Well, see, that's the problem, Maj, because, again, you can't stand with the rape victims and also stand with this administration who is actively protecting the men and women possibly engaged in raping those women. See how that works, right? You can't like be the cops and support the criminals at the same time. That's not how that works. You can't be the judge buying drugs from the people you're trying to actively lock up. Like, that might be a conflict of interest. Like, you can't, again, actively support an administration that's letting the worst of the worst criminals off, is not releasing the information, the evidence to put people behind bars, while also saying that you support the victims in those crimes that this administration is protecting. See how that doesn't really line up? Don't make no sense? That just don't make no sense.
Children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those.
I mean, like Katie Johnson. Would Katie Johnson be one of those girls, involved in one of those horrendous and horrific sexual scenes that you're talking about? Possibly.
Trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
You said on X yesterday, quote, "It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out." And
I know, it's almost like the next line would be like, hey, it's almost as if he has some serious guilt to hide. Like, it's almost as if, right? Like, wouldn't that be the next logical thought in your head? Like, it's astonishing that this person would be so actively engaged in trying to, thwart me on what I'm doing and my position on this. It's almost as if they were involved in this shit too. Like, I don't, sometimes it seems so simple, and I understand, like, they're in, totally different situations. But Jesus Christ, do you look stupid not calling out what everybody sees in front of your goddamn face, right? Like, it's just crazy to me.
And
it really
makes you wonder what is in those files. Are you suggesting there's something?
No, really makes you wonder what Donald Trump's involvement is in those files. Nothing else. Nothing else. There is nothing else. There are the president's actions and the instructions that he has given his little fucking minions that have the ability and are surrounded by these files actively points to a cover-up, which actively leads people to, to think and would suggest that he has active involvement. He had active engagement in the criminalities, whether or not be sexually, financially, or fucking in some other regards, right? Just let's be logical in this shit.
The Epstein files that President Trump does not want Americans to see?
Well, I think that's the part that has so many people confused, is that the women themselves that I have talked to have over and over again said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Quite a few of them even told me they voted for him. And those are the women I would like to see in the Oval Office with support.
Wait. So now it's the women. Now it's only the women that say that Donald Trump, they didn't see anything and they didn't see Donald Trump engaged in any criminalities, and the people that voted for Donald Trump that should be allowed into the Oval Office now. Is that what she was just trying to say? Because before I thought it was like, all of the victims deserve the opportunity to, have a chance to speak with the president and air their case and have it be heard, right? Sounds to me like now she's just saying it's the ones that voted for Donald Trump, the ones that are willing to go on the record to say that they at least never saw with their own eyes Donald Trump engage in any criminal acts, right? Which, again, does not prove that Donald Trump had no involvement in this case. All it proves is that these women, or whoever you're talking about here, these victims themselves with their own eyes didn't see it, right? Or again, we don't know what else took place behind the scenes. We don't know how. This is another part of this story, too, that I don't think people are really bringing up because, Fox was so quick to be like, well, it was Virginia Giuffre who said, in the past that she, same thing basically here, that she never saw Donald Trump engaged in any criminalities and, he was nice, yada, yada. But what threats were posed to these women behind the scenes or posed to these girls behind the scenes, depending on what, time or year they were posed to these people? Like, what's to say that, Virginia wasn't so scared, right, by threats made by Donald Trump and promises made by Donald Trump and these high profile people that she was threatened and said, if you were ever questioned, if you didn't say this about Donald Trump, bad things would happen to you, right? What's to say? I don't know. I know it's clear speculation. We have no evidence to suggest or prove any of this. But would you put any of that past the people and the players involved in this situation? The people with fucking audio and video recordings and people going to fly to private islands to hide their criminalities, to hide their fucking sexual, deviances. Like, I don't understand. Like, is that something that would be like out of the realm of possibility that these women were threatened? Or in somehow, I don't know, maybe even bribed or paid or, in some other way made to be forced to be silent or something like that. You know what I mean? Which would totally change the whole narrative around that one email. Right? If we do find out in the future, per the Epstein files, that Donald Trump had, directly contacted people like Virginia Giuffre to say, hey, listen, I know where you live. I know where you stay. I know your parents. We know a lot about you. So guess what? If anybody has, ever asked you any tough questions and you say the wrong thing, guess what? It's a nice fucking home you got there, but it'd be a shame if something happened to it type of thing, right? Like the transportation secretary said, or, like a number of people in Donald Trump's administration in orbit have said in this administration alone. So again, I'm not putting it past anything. And that, again, like I was saying, would completely change the narrative that Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, RSBN are trying to get across, where it's like, the Democrats only blocked that out because it was Virginia Giuffre, but Virginia Giuffre said this. But if we find out she only said that under, the threat of retaliation, then guess what? There's a whole new fucking chapter to open. There's a whole new book to write about what's going on in these emails, because they then have no more out as to why. And again, very well could have just been the Democrats doing their due diligence and just blocking out any and all victims' names, to keep their identity safe in this instance, right? While Fox News and the Republicans are trying to make it seem like it was under nefarious means. But again, that would change the whole line of fucking reasoning, the whole line of rhetoric coming from the Republicans. If we were to find out there was some, fishy business going on with some fucking shady characters going around to these underage girls and the women, making threats or again, actively bribing them in some fashion to stay quiet. You know what I mean? All right, so let's dive into just a couple minutes more of this, and then we'll head on to, again, more of this ongoing MAGA battle that has enveloped this base right now, and we'll be looking at, again, some of the videos that we showed earlier. But let's dive into a couple more minutes of this, and we'll head on. I appreciate it. Hit that like button, guys. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, the political podcast made to sift through the bullshit, the lies, the propaganda of the mainstream media and people just like this, so we can sift through it and get down to the fucking nitty gritty of brass taxes, so we can give it, break it down for the normal, everyday working class individuals like you, like me, like the people that these policies and decisions affect on a day-to-day basis. So let's dive into it. Thank you for your opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to entertain and educate and, kill some time in the day if that's what I do. So I appreciate you guys. Hit that like button.
Would like to see all of the women there with support. I have no idea what's in the files. I can't even guess, but that is the questions everyone.
You can't guess. There's just nothing in your brain that would lead you, any clues that you've seen from people acting mysteriously or in a way that you never thought that they would act. Like, there's nothing from anybody that you could point to right now that would be like, I think this is more lending, to the chance that there is something absolutely fishy, absolutely incriminating with this person, at least, because that's not how I know him. That's not what the person that I love. He's acting totally differently. Well, why do you think that is, Maj? Why do you think that is?
Asking is why fight this so hard?
Well, before this blow up,
because he's guilty, because he's in it. In one way or a fucking another, this man is involved in this, and that's why, Maj. Not that difficult.
You sort of alluded to this just now. You said you were confident the president wouldn't be implicated. Are you still confident of that?
I'm listening to the women. Those are the ones that are saying.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but I couldn't help the lack of the yes word being mentioned in that answer. Can we do that one more time? Just one more time, ladies and gentlemen. I would love, let me put that back on, because I'm going to want to hear that one more time.
The president.
So basically, Dana Bash just directly asking Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you still believe that Donald Trump has no involvement? And again, I couldn't help but, miss with the headphones in the lack of her saying yes. Her going right into, well, I'm just listening to the women again. Sounds like, again, a bullshit fucking politician, obfuscating type of answer, if you ask me. Well, but again, here we go.
Before this blow up, you sort of alluded to this just now. You said you were confident the president wouldn't be implicated. Are you still confident of that?
I'm listening to the women. Those are the ones that are saying that he did nothing wrong. Virginia.
Okay. How about the question that you were asked, though? Again, how about the question you were just asked? Again, can you answer that question? Because it seems like you're going on to answer another question in the way politicians do. Obviously, they try to get around these things, and they know they only have so much time on, so they can talk and run around for enough time. Then again, there won't be enough time left to answer the actual question. But again, it's supposed to be people like Dana Bash keeping them on track and making them and forcing them to answer the questions that was asked. But they suck at this job, which is why we do what we do here. But again, Marjorie Taylor Greene just can't nail it down. She's so close, but can't nail it down.
Said under oath that Donald Trump did nothing wrong, and she wrote it in her book. So I'm continuing to listening to the women, and I think their voices should be the loudest.
So you talk to every single victim. Or again, are you just going by the small majority, the small number, the small percentage of victims that you've talked to that again have been either able or willing to say they haven't seen Donald Trump engaged in criminality? Like, is that supposed to, they're speaking for the entire crew, or have you sat down with each individual victim to get their story and everything that they saw? Because I highly doubt you've gone that far. So it seems like to me that they're using the words of a few in the cases of a few, and what they didn't see to kind of, support the overwhelming, the overarching narrative that Fox News and, again, Marjorie Taylor Greene here want to get out, which is like, something egregious has been done, but clearly President Trump's not involved in it, ladies and gentlemen. He's just the one actively telling people not to show the files and threatening people in his own party and, kicking me out of it. But, well, now that kind of makes me nope, he probably isn't in it. Like, what the fuck?
Honest.
The president said the reason that you have been critical of him is not necessarily Epstein, but because he pushed you not to run for the Senate or for governor in Georgia. How and when did he do that?
Well, that is absolutely not true. Actually,
okay, so he's an outright liar, is what you're saying, Maj, right? So he's lying outright to not only news organizations, news outlets, but also the American people. So, let's just run this through the fucking old calculator computer here and just kind of see if what we can come out with. Let's see. So he's willing to lie. He's willing to lie about something petty and useless like this about me running for Senate in the governor's race. But I can't see it how he'd be willing to lie about his involvement in the Epstein files. It just does not make any sense here. Oh, like fucking holy shit. Like he's like, so if he's outright lying about that, wouldn't you be like, wow, man, maybe he's lying about this other shit too? Maybe there's like a whole host of shit, like almost like 33,000 of them from his first term that he lied about. Maybe that shit was all right. I don't know. Like, wouldn't that be, I don't know, just logical way of thinking? All right, let's move on from before we get too stupid here from a lack of brain cells. Let me throw this on. Sorry, it's the same one. My apologies. All right, that one. Here we go. All right, so here we go. This is what I was showing you in the beginning again with this ongoing MAGA battle here, where just look how they're talking about Trump. And again, this is this Valhalla VFT, excuse me, that has been, talking about Candace Owens, has been talking a lot about Charlie Kirk and that whole saga. A lot about here, like you can see Ben Shapiro, for trying to expose and destroy Charlie Kirk. But just for a reference, this is what he puts on his thumbnail. Schumer is cooked, right? So you can see kind of how they talk about and describe and, how they list their thumbnails according to people they don't like, right? So again, if I move this up, now calling Ben Shapiro a giant coward in the fight with Nick Fuentes, right? But then if you look up here, Trump is also cooked, it says. So not only is Schumer cooked, but Trump is cooked. Epstein bombshell released. Trump knew about the girls. And again, this is somebody that is heavily watched, but I could guarantee you by the overwhelming majority of people on the right or, heavily, if not just involved in MAGA straight out, right? And they're seeing these things, okay? Megyn Kelly defends Epstein. He's not a PDF. And then his newest one, Donica Lewinsky. These aren't lefty creators. These aren't progressives. These aren't liberals. These aren't fucking leftists. These are gun-toting, MAGA-wearing, fucking camo, fucking fledged out, just conservative people. And these are their thumbnails. This is what they're saying. Donica Lewinsky, not a pedo. Trump is cooked. And then he shits on him here for having the Al Qaeda leader in the White House. So again, you can see how things are starting to turn here, ladies and gentlemen. And what the one I want to play is here.
But that he was into the barely legal.
Where he's calling out Megyn Kelly, because not only does it give us a chance to look at him calling out another, heavily popular MAGA commentator for her bullshit and propaganda now in this instance, but we also get to see Megyn Kelly's just absolute fucking disgraceful comments on this situation. So it's kind of like a two birds with one stone, right? The double dipping here. Everybody loves double dipping. I see you guys at the parties. All right, let's head into it. Again, this is the ongoing MAGA civil war, this time involving Megyn Kelly, who has now stepped in it a little bit with the MAGA base and is now going too far in defending Jeffrey Epstein. So let's head into this. I'll speed it up just a touch again, so if we can get through just a little bit more than we may have done otherwise. All right, let's get into it. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys.
Type. Like he liked 15-year-old, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
First of all, Megan, 15 years old is not barely legal. Barely legal means over 18. It means,
and again, this is there's again, which would probably add more context to this, and you could probably find these easily online. But Megyn Kelly, you could pull up previous statements of hers talking about this Epstein case, which is completely 180 degrees antithetical to what she's talking about now and what she's saying now.
Legal. You think you would know that because you have a 14-year-old daughter.
I mean, but again, just look at this. These are the same things that we call out, the same things that we talk about. Like, how could you be that naive? How could you be that fucking disgusting when you yourself can put yourself in those shoes? You have a 14-year-old daughter, right? Can you not just put yourself mentally in the shoes of a parent that had to deal, like one of the victims in this case has had to deal, and then to say with your own, like, oh, 15-year-old like this, like it's not that bad. Oh, geez. That's going to be, that's like on, that's people have that forever now. You know that, right? Like, you're never getting rid of that. All right. So let's go through this. I don't need to see his intro here. Here we go.
Today, this is going to be a massive rant video. So buckle your seatbelts and hold on tight. Might as well say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe up front. And guys,
don't do that. Don't do that. If you're going to like, comment, subscribe, do that to my channel, Blunt Politics, Boston Brian. Don't do that here.
As a parent of teenage kids and a girl dad myself, I've been looking around absolutely.
Again, another huge case of the Republicans don't give a shit until it hits close to home. Right? Like, what's a great example? Like, okay, the fucking anti-LGBTQIA Republican senator, right? Bashing on that fucking community left and right, then finds out that his son or daughter is part of that community. And then you see the rapid change in the rhetoric, the stances, and then the votes on the bills, right? So same thing with transgender, right? Republicans all, bashing the trans community until they either have somebody, one of their daughters, their sons, people in their family that comes out as transgender, and then they change their rhetoric or they change their stance. The next thing you know, they're voting different on bills. But they don't give a shit about the hungry. They don't give a shit about the poor until they find themselves being hungry or poor. Right. This is how the Republican Party is. Right. And even then, they don't do it from a place of like pure belief or pure, like they don't care at that point. They're only doing it to kind of, try to gain the respect or try to hold on to the respect of their family member in that moment. So, again, this is them not being able to call out the pedophiles in this crew until, again, it's the people that have the sons and the daughters that actively put themselves in those people's shoes.
Horrified at.
Sorry, let me put this on the screen. My bad.
Apparently how morally bankrupt American society has become is I see all of these people, influencers, doing the most insane mental gymnastics I've ever seen to try to justify, defend, and protect an international PDF ring and the people involved in it.
And when he says commentators, he's not watching me. He ain't watching fucking Hal Sparks. He's not watching Breaking Points or Jesse Dollemore or Brian Tyler Cohen or the I've Had It ladies. That's not who he's watching. He's talking about pure and simple MAGA commentators doing the dance, doing the fucking the Michael Jackson moonwalk, trying to get around this issue, trying to get around this subject without actively calling out, again, Donald Trump, and again, doing their best to, obfuscate and protect the major ring of child sex traffickers here. And again, I'll skip fast forward here to where he plays a couple of Megyn Kelly's clips here. Yeah, it's coming up here. So I'll play this right here.
Actually came out and said this because this is exactly what she was trying to do. And I'm going to stop in between and just talk about how gross some of the things she says are here.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Now,
I want to be clear what she's doing here. So how she's setting this up. So because she's going to try to defend herself. Well, I said that somebody else said it. She's setting this person up as an expert witness. Okay, understand that. That's by design.
Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view.
Again, so he's right for what he's saying here. He's completely talking about how she's going to say it was this person's view, not my view. I'm just telling you what I heard through the grapevine is kind of what Megyn Kelly's trying to get passed down on this one. But somebody, it's so convenient for these people to always have an insider. There's inside knowledge. I think she brought up the same bullshit with like Ben Shapiro when they were going back and forth on. I think it was Trump and Netanyahu and like that type of bullshit. Same exact thing that she was trying to do there is she's trying to do here, which is, I mean, just think of what she's trying to say here. She knows somebody that would actively come out and say that Jeffrey Epstein was not a PDF, was not a child sex trafficker. Okay, did he, what's his name? Has he come out yet? Or are you just completely making this up for some unknown and ridiculous reason?
Who was there for a lot of this?
She keeps saying this is this person's view, but she has set him up as the expert witness to Epstein.
But that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
First of all, Megan, 15 years old is not barely legal. Barely legal means over 18. It means legal. You think you would know that because you have a 14-year-old.
I was sending a text message. My apologies. But did you hear what Megyn Kelly just said? Let me repeat this. Let me play this again, just so you guys, there's no mistake in it. There's no second guessing it. Here's what she just said. But
that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
The barely legal type, ladies and gentlemen, Megyn Kelly calling a 15-year-old child, a fucking 15-year-old child who under zero fucking circumstances can consent to anything for themselves, barely legal. Now, maybe in, I don't know, Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, fucking Kansas, Arkansas, I don't know. I don't know what the particular fucking laws are surrounding, children of that age. But I do know that that in New England, where I was raised, in the fucking burbs of Boston, Massachusetts, where I was raised, you would get a fucking fist to the teeth for even suggesting anything like that. Not suggesting that, not instructing anybody, but that's just the reality of life. You went around saying shit like that where I grew up, and I'm sorry, you'd be fucking visiting to the dentist sooner than later. I can tell you that much.
First of all, Megan, 15 years old is not barely legal. Barely legal means over 18. It means legal.
Just think of what these people are saying. And what did I play on the show the other day? It was Eric Bowling who said, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say that Donald Trump would see absolutely no shift to his fucking, to his representation, to the people that support him, even if it did come out that he was involved in these Epstein files. Think of what these people are putting, like how low a level of society they are now dropping themselves down to in order to let Donald Trump step on their fucking backs to avoid the mud puddles. Right? So that's what these people are doing. Donald Trump is stomping around in mud puddle after fucking mud puddle after mud puddle. And Megyn Kelly and Eric Bowling and fucking Tim Pool and Benny Johnson are just lying down face first in the mud, letting Donald Trump just walk all over their backs. And while they're, again, they're soaking up the mud in the shit. He gets to just trample on through, keeping his shoes nice and fucking clean. Or at least that's his hopes. Unreal.
You think you would know that because you have a 14-year-old daughter.
I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would.
I don't even, what am I hearing? What am I hearing right now? What am I hearing? I knew it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad. It was going to be bad. She just said out of her own fucking two lips, through that fucking pie hole in her filthy grill, that it wasn't like he was out there, doing 8-year-olds. I mean, we're talking like she's trying to make it seem like these 15-year-olds are 37 years old out there with cars, jobs, careers, and kids making decisions for themselves. Like, how disgusting is this? And she's saying this on her own show. On her own show. I'll play that one more time so there's absolutely no mistaking it.
Legal. You think you would know that because you have a 14-year-old daughter.
I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than.
Hey, guys, hey, just out of curiosity, chat. Hey, do you guys know the difference? Let me bring you guys in here for a sec. I'll bring you guys in here for a sec. I'll make it even a little bigger. How about this? There you go. Just chat. Can I ask you guys for a second? Just ask you guys for a second. Do you guys know the difference between a 15-year-old child and an 8-year-old child? Because I do. It's 7 years. That's it. That's the only fucking difference. 7 years. One's a child at this age. The other is a child at a younger age. Both children. Both still children. And I can't believe that I have to explain that. I can't believe that we actually have to call this shit out. And I can't believe that the fucking whoever's on this talk with her isn't like, hey, Megan, like, we're recording, right? Like, people are going to see this shit. Like, what are you talking about? What friends do you have that they're saying this shit and you're like seems like concurring with it on your show right now? And again, you wonder why this whole like rift is growing, why the whole MAGA civil war is growing, and why people that, are actively being watched by overwhelmingly MAGA, the overwhelming majority of the MAGA base are now being so willing to call these people out. Look at this shit. Like,
they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that is what I reliably was told for many years.
She said it right there. That's what she believes. That's what she's been reliably told. What?
Again, I mean, he's right, too, for calling that part out, too, because she could have definitely left that out and still gone with this whole, like, well, that's what this person said. But she has to she chimes in there with her own fucking point, saying that that's what I believe.
A passerby. And that is what I believed, and that is what I reliably.
That is what I believe, and that what I was reliably told for many years, she says. Wow.
Was told for many years.
She said it right there. That's what she believes. That's what she's been reliably told. What the are you talking about, Megan? 15-year-old girls are children. They're not barely legal. What are you doing? How are you trying to justify this at all? Why would you ever say this on camera?
Again, my sentiments exactly. The fact that these people just do not seem to acknowledge that when they say shit on camera, that's there forever. That does not go away. You can erase it from your channel. You can erase it from fucking Twitter. You can erase it from Instagram. But guess what? Somebody picked that up and they fucking screenshotted it and they copied it and it's somewhere and that will be found by your kids, your grandkids, their kids, and their grandkids. And you can never run away from it. Never run away from it. And just think, if we get the actual accountability that we all want, right, that we all know that these victims are so deserving of, right, and all of it comes out, and the perpetrators are put behind bars, and these high profile pricks are all fucking seen with their hands behind their backs, being walked into these fucking courthouses in handcuffs, and then being the door slammed behind them after the fucking court case is done, and it's all been proven, right? And then all of these people that sat here and said shit like Megyn Kelly said, or like Eric Bolin, where are they going to be then? Where are they going to be then when everything comes out and, let's say 75% of the rumors, of the conspiracy theories end up being proven true, right? Some of the biggest ones prove, like, where are these people going to be then? Unreal. Fucking unreal. And again, just to kind of show the asshole himself, I know we're running out of time and I'll probably have to save this for tomorrow's, not for Tuesday's show. My apologies, for Tuesday's show. And I'll put this on the screen. This, obviously updates from the front lines, as well as discussing the quote here from this video. Shocking scandal that is rocking Ukraine. Definitely something that we need to talk about. Definitely something that we need to keep up on. As well as obviously checking in on what's going on at the front lines as well. So we're probably not going to have time to do that today. I apologize. Slava Ukraine, Heroyam Slava to everybody out there. But sometimes we just run out of time. But I do promise to bring that up on Tuesday's show. Something we'll talk about there. But let's dive into this asshole. Against just self-incriminating on Air Force One with the press gaggle here, being asked a few questions about the Epstein situation, and you can tell by his demeanor, you can tell by the shit that he says, that this is really starting to get on his nerves, especially the whole Bubba, Bill Clinton, fellatio talk. You can tell that's not sitting well with him either. So just a couple minutes of this, then I'll get you guys out of here. We'll see if I missed anything while I was on the air, and then I'll start thanking everybody for your incredible contributions to the show, and I'll get you guys out of here so you can see some other incredible independent creators give you some give you some of the news. All right, let's dive into it. I appreciate it. I'll speed it up for you as well, just so we're not dealing with his bullshit at normal speed, because who wants to do that, right? Who the fuck wants to do that? All right, here we go.
Okay, Mr. President.
And the captions are on because they're on Air Force One. It's a little bit hard to hear the questions, but I do have the captions on. I'll even get out of the way for the time being so you can. Can I make the captions even bigger? How do I do that so you guys can see them? Let's see here. Subtitles. Can you make them bigger? Options, font size. How's 100? All right, we'll do that. Might make it a little bit easier for you guys to see what he's saying. All right, here we go.
Did Jeffrey Epstein read in his emails that you said you knew about the girls?
Oh, just for anybody that couldn't hear, what did Jeffrey Epstein mean in his emails where he said you knew about the girls is the question. Donald Trump, his first words are, I know nothing.
That would have been said a long time ago. It's really, what did he mean when he spent all the time with Bill Clinton? with the president of Harvard,
And then he dives right into this, his strategy, dives right into the strategy. Let me name as many other people as possible. Let me throw as many other people under the bus as humanly possible, whether it be corporations, whether it be individuals themselves. That way, you guys can have something to chase. That way, not so many people are talking about me directly, and at least some of you assholes will start looking into Larry Summers or fucking Bill Clinton or whatever the fuck, right? So this is, again, his ploy, his plan is to just say as much about any other person as humanly possible to point in the other direction.
Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, and all of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years.
Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. Hold on, guys. Hold on just a second, because there might be something, I don't know, what do you call it? Like photographic evidence to suggest that might be bullshit. Yeah. So look at this horrible relationship they had for many years, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this horrible relationship. I mean, just couple with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, hand on the shoulder here. Jeffrey Epstein saying on the stand that they were best friends. Pick a picture. What picture do you want? Pick a picture, any picture here. Pick a picture, any picture here. You just partying with them. You want to party with them? Okay. No, you want to just, maybe do it. Yeah, there you are. There's a good one. There's you are at the party. Yeah, you are. All right. So yeah, just in case you were looking at a bad relationship. Again, not a single one of these pictures do they look pissed off at each other. Do they look like they're in a feud? None of them. All hunky dory. Everything's great. Underage girls around to satisfy them both. What else do they need? The sickos. All right, here we go.
And he also saw a strike because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. You got to find out what did he know.
Yeah, now that's another portion. That's another funny part of this whole thing, where he says he dictated a couple memos to himself. Is that what he said? Hold on, let me go back. I want to make sure I get that right. Dictated a couple memos to himself.
But he also saw a strike because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself.
Yeah, he dictated a couple memos to himself. Now, I don't know if Donald Trump just has no fucking clue what an actual email is, but these aren't like voice recordings. These aren't voice memos left from Jeffrey Epstein to Jeffrey Epstein. These are email communications between, Jeffrey, Steve Bannon, his brother, other individuals. You know what I mean? So a lot different than like a self-incriminating, self-dictated memo to himself, right? What the hell?
You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all
you know what? I'd be careful. I'd be very careful, by the way, you speak about the head of Bill Clinton, because, a lot of people are taking that in a seriously different way than you're thinking, I think, in this point. So maybe not refer to the head of Bill Clinton anymore would be smart.
Sir, is there something incriminating in the file, sir?
Quiet.
Oh, you see him snap? You see him snap there? Like, this is how much it's getting on his nerves. Like, he wants to be able to smack people around in this situation, and he can't. Like, this is about the closest I think I've seen him come to actually, like, physically, making contact with the reporter. Like, usually he'll tell him to be quiet. He'll lean back in the chair, tell him to stop talking. But he actually lunges forward at this one. Check this one out. Check this one out. Sorry.
All of those people that he know, including JP Morgan chips.
Sir, is there something incriminating in the file, sir?
Quiet.
I would have you put that finger in my face and I would have bit that fucking finger right the fuck off. Huh? Yeah, it would have been very difficult for you to get that fucking Coke can in your hands. You put that finger in my face any closer, my friend. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can see, of course, I'm joking, but you can see, just how aggravated and agitated and like on edge he is about this situation and how much he wants to stay on top of the rhetoric and the narrative. And, as long as Bill Clinton and Harvard and JP Morgan are the last thing said, then he feels like he's okay. Like he feels like he's done his part. But if a reporter gets another question in there that he can't answer, puts him on the back foot, it's going to make him look even worse. And that's what he can't stand. stand. He just cannot stand being made to look like a fool, and he knows that's exactly what he looks like in this situation. He knows he looks guilty, and he knows it's only getting worse, and it's not going to get any better, which is why we'll play out one more time. This is Donald Trump, again, snapping at a reporter for, again, doing their crime, engaging in the crime of questioning about his, active involvement with the Epstein files that he's now engaged in the biggest conspiracy and government cover-up to, again, hide under the rug. But here he is.
Sir, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir,
Oh man, I was fucking right hook right to the teeth. Fucking great, would have been nice. Anyway, but yeah, you can see how frustrated. And this is in, again, the first less than a minute. We're in the first 53 seconds here.
You've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know you can't tell us what your next steps will be, but can you say that you made up your mind on what you'd like to do as far as action?
I sort of haven't made up my mind yet. I can't tell you what it would be, but I sort of made up my mind.
What do you say to your...
This is, again, Donald Trump's big way of presiding over a country. Yeah, I've made up my mind. I can't tell anybody anything of what we're doing, but yeah, we've definitely made up our mind. We got we got notes in a notebook. We got different ideas in the notebook. We got concepts and plans fucking flowing out our ears. But no, I can't tell you anything as to what we're doing. Let me see if I can skip ahead here. I think he's asked a couple more times about the Epstein files as well.
Be able to get them down even lower, or at least a little bit lower. Be more bulldogs in the future. On the lower.
See if I can skip ahead.
And in terms of much lower, President, might you speak with the Telegraph and say goodbye and exposure? Are you the Telegraph? That's right. Oh, what a job you did. What a job you did. Are you proud of yourselves? We've had a good... How did we catch BBC like that? We have good...
Again, talking about his $1 billion lawsuit against the BBC for, again, changing one of his comments or something like that, where they're going to easily, or they already have, caved into. But let me see if I can throw this up, because this is something that we should be getting, obviously talking about, keeping our eye on to see just how many Republicans have the balls to come out and not support this agenda, not support this, this fucking what's going on here in the House. So Thomas Massey says 100 or more House Republicans could vote to release the Epstein files. And this is the Republican congressman pushed for a vote in the House to release the files. This is from November 16, 2025, this morning. Let's see if this little clip gives us any more insight as to when we can expect this vote or what Massey is saying about the vote.
I'm joined now by Republican Congressman Thomas Massey of Kentucky, who led the effort to release the Epstein files. Congressman Massey, thank you for being here. President Trump fought long and hard to prevent your discharge petition from going through. You won that battle. Now, what happens? How many Republicans in the House follow your lead and defy the president on this?
I think we could have a deluge of Republicans. There could be 100 or more. I'm hoping to get a veto-proof majority on this legislation when it comes up for a vote. And
that might be the day that Donald Trump finally has his heart attack. That might be the day. If the day he wakes up and there's a fucking 100+ Republicans that have gone against his will and has signed on to the release of the Epstein files, as I believe the day that the cheeseburgers take effect. Okay. That's when fucking cheeseburger paradise becomes reality in this aspect, I do believe. I think he will absolutely shit himself to pieces if he wakes up one morning and there are 100+ Republicans that have, again, gone against his free will, gone against his instructions, gone against his demands, gone against his orders, and will sign on to support the release of the Epstein files. That will be the beginning of the end for Donald Trump, health-wise, and it would be all naturally caused not only by the stress, not only by his previous actions, but by the guilt that maybe, I guess he probably doesn't have any of that anyway, but that will be the start of the downfall that we will see of that, of the already rapid decline in the health of Donald Trump. That will be when the fucking snowball officially hits the downhill portion of the double black diamond. If you catch my drift, but that's just my theory. But yeah, it'd be good to see. Let me see if he, talks about who might be able to sign on to this, if he's willing to give up any names in this.
The president's been saying this is a hoax. He's been saying that for months. Well, he's just now decided to investigate a hoax, if it's a hoax. And I have another concern about these investigations that he's announced. if they have ongoing investigations in certain
And he's
areas,
talking about,
those-
excuse me, sorry, just to kind of put context into what he's saying. He's talking about these, investigations that Donald Trump is instructing Pam Bondi and the DOJ to open against Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and the people that we have named in either his statements there on Air Force One or his previous Truth Social posts. So that's what Massey is referring to right here.
documents can't be released. So this might be a big smokescreen, these investigations, to open a bunch of them as a last-ditch effort to prevent the release of the Epstein files.
I mean, it is
Again, this
extraordinary
goes
to hear him
directly,
demanding it.
excuse me, this goes directly hand in hand with that meeting that we heard was taking place in the, in the war room there, in the bunker, basically. And they had a meeting with Lauren Boebert, and they had a meeting with Nancy Mace, if I'm not mistaken. And they were trying to get her, pressuring these people to try to be like, okay, don't sign on to this. Are you going to be willing to stand with Donald Trump, and against, I guess, the victims of sex child trafficking, which is, a pretty easy decision that anybody that is serving in American office right now should be willing to make. But I'm again just curious if he's willing to name any names. But again, we got to make sure that we're putting this with the other stories of this Trump administration doing their damnedest to get the Republican senators and Republican congressmen not to vote on for this. So that just goes to show you where their head is at and what they're trying to do.
Investigation and only mention Democrats, only mention his political opponents. But you're saying he may not really even want any investigation. He wants to prevent the release. Why does he want to prevent this? What is he afraid of?
I've never said that these files will implicate Donald Trump. And I really don't think that they will. I think he's trying to protect a bunch of rich and powerful friends, billionaires, donors.
It's crazy to me that even Thomas Massey, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, just can't help but just I don't know, shoot himself in the foot. Like, how can you possibly at this point still say that you don't think there's anything in there? Like, you actually think that Donald Trump cares about another human being or other human beings enough, right, where he's completely innocent in all this, has absolutely no involvement, but is going through all of this, is torturing himself, is going through the lowest polling numbers. Let's see here. Trump polling numbers. I think he's now hit his lowest approval rating. Let's see here. Yeah, I think Donald Trump approval steady as Dems. No, what's that say? Oh, that's the disapproval. Yeah. So I think it's down to something like 36% or something like that in one of the recent polls, without diving too deep into these trackers and getting wrapped up in it. But yeah, I mean, for somebody that is now, I don't understand. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, is it really you think he's that fucking beholden to his relationships with high profile individuals where he's going to go to these lengths just to protect them when he has no involvement? It's just asinine to even contemplate that at this point in time. Right, knowing what we know, having heard him said the things that he said in the past, knowing what people like Jeffrey Epstein themselves have said, Ghislaine Maxwell themselves had said, the cushy treatment that Ghislaine Maxwell is receiving now, the suspicious death of Jeffrey Epstein under Donald Trump's administration. I mean, the list is endless here. And so for these people to be trying to still find themselves on the right side of Donald Trump while, also calling out the fact that he's the biggest impediment, the biggest fucking wall in front of them right now to finding accountability, to getting justice for these victims is mind-blowing to me. It's just the mental gymnastics that they continue they continue to pull off and that they're so willing to do in front of people is just, again, something that is going to be studied for a long time to come. I truly believe from these people. It's just, there's going to be a lot to learn from how not to get wrapped up in a cult, from how not to get sucked up in propaganda and lies and bullshit, right? So I want to just see if this is, let me put this on the screen. I just want to see if this tells us anything about when we can hope for that vote. So there could be a deluge of Republicans, could be 100 or more. I'm hoping to get a veto-proof majority on this legislation when it comes up for a vote. Do we know when that vote, the date of that vote is supposed to be? Let me go to the chat. I'm going to bring the chat in for a couple minutes. Do you guys know when that vote is scheduled to be? Adopt Don't Shop says Tuesday. Is that confirmed? Not that I don't trust you, Adopt, but I just always like to have a confirmation in the group. Okay, Colleen says Tuesday. Confirmed. All right, cool. I appreciate you guys. House votes on Tuesday. Eileen says Thank you guys. I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to give you guys the wrong day. I feel like I've heard a couple different days. All right. Thank you guys. Very much appreciated. Appreciate your information. Appreciate your help on the show. You guys always seem to be more intelligent and more up to speed than I am, and I appreciate you for it. All right. But yeah, let me see. Let me see if he goes on here and says anything else. If not, I'll get you guys out of here. We'll start thanking some people. But yeah, let me just see if he's got any more insight into what's going on this vote, or what do you expect?
To his campaign, friends in his social circles. And that's my operating theory on why he's trying so hard to keep these files closed.
What do you think is actually in these files?
And they could be, I mean, this could be, again, not to give them, too much benefit of the doubt, or to give them too much credit, especially people like Thomas Massey, where, he's no saint, he's no fucking friend of the Democrats. It's just, politically advantageous for us to be calling out the fact that, the split going on right now is so evident, is so prominent, and is so harmful right now to what's going on with Republicans. But I don't know, this could be a ploy here, just kind of for shits and giggles. I know I'm probably giving way too much credit here, and don't annihilate me for doing so, but could this be an attempt to, somewhat butter Donald Trump up here? And maybe if there is that minute chance that he is just doing this, protect, wealthy individuals, that this kind of gives them an off ramp. Like, is he still trying to give him that off? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I know I'm giving him too much credit, and that's not what he's doing. But, we know how easily manipulated Donald Trump is. If you give him credit, if you give him, praise, if you give him gifts, if you bullshit him and propagandize him, right? So, is there a little bit of, sportsmanship trying to be played here? I don't think so. But, maybe a question that could be asked, because it's hard for me to believe that Thomas Massey, having took a stand this far, going this far to take a stand, having realized that there is this active, roadblock and impediment coming from the White House, that he wouldn't be able to put 2 and 2 together to equal 4 and say, okay, the person leading that White House probably has some involvement in this, and it probably goes beyond just, protecting high-profile individuals, which we've never seen him do. We've never seen him fucking go out on a limb to protect anybody, family members, for Christ's sakes. He's got his own fucking ex-wife buried in an unmarked grave on some fucking shitty golf course that hasn't been mowed in 2 years. I mean, do you think this guy's going out on a limb for people he's not related to? Come on, yeah. Let's be serious.
I've seen so much Epstein material from the criminal cases, the stuff that just came out this week, from the estate. What do you think is left?
Yeah, I don't have to guess at what's in the files. I've talked to the survivors through their lawyer, and we know there are at least 20 people in those files. There are politicians, billionaires, movie producers who are implicated criminally, who haven't been investigated.
And, good on him too. I mean, praise where praise is due, flowers where flowers are due. Like, Thomas Massey seems to be the most willing to, come out with the at least a number of people that have been listed in here, some of their specific titles. I think he said in one of the House floor committee meetings too, a couple of the names that were supposed to have been in there. I think he was, going against Kash Patel in that committee hearing. So, not a lot of other people that I've heard being like, okay, this is how many people that I've heard being actively involved, whether they're billionaires, head of state, head of corporations, this type of thing. So, good on him for at least being like, all right, fucking, when Donald Trump says it's a hoax and nobody's involved, when Mike Johnson comes out and says that nobody's involved, or he believes that nobody else is involved, or Kash Patel says nobody else is involved besides these two, then again, we have direct information coming from the victims themselves to blow that out of the water. And it seems to be Thomas Massey most willing to bring that point up.
And it's up to the FBI, not the survivors and the DOJ, to release those names, or at least to investigate them. And when I see Donald Trump announce a bunch of investigations, I don't see him going after these rich elites that are implicated in these files, according to the survivors.
The president has gone
right again. It doesn't corroborate what he's talking about there anyway, because it seems to me he's specifically going after political opponents or people deemed to be on the political opposition side, right? Anybody that has either gone against Donald Trump in the past, or again is somebody seen to be affiliated with the Democrats, or loved or beloved by the Democrats or whatever. That's who he's trying to wrap up. The same people that he sent his DOJ after, as far as the other investigations. like, Comey, what the fuck the guy's name, Walter Brennan, and all of these other individuals that had something bad to say or came out against Donald Trump either in the 2020 election, after January 6th, or beforehand, right? He's definitely weaponizing to the best of his ability these political agencies to do his bidding, whether it be cover up for his criminalities or seek out his political opponents, right? It's just blatantly obvious, right? And this is above and beyond what ICE continues to do, what Homeland Security and DHS continues to do, right? Above and beyond the hurt that we've seen put on the farmers in this country. Again, homelessness on the rise, the job fucking crisis, the housing crisis, the lack of promises being fulfilled by any means by Donald Trump, the wars that he's potentially getting us in. Just the list is endless. The list is endless.
In some deeply personal ways. I mean, attacking you over and over again, even attacking you for regarding your recent wedding, which, by the way, congratulations. What do you make of all that? And he's obviously supporting your. That was one of the first. I think that was this. I don't still have it pulled up, but that was one of the first Truth Social posts that we read there, where he was talking about Thomas Massie being married and his loser wife, or his wife realizing she's married to a loser, which absolutely nothing to do with politics, absolutely nothing to do with anything. Just showing Donald Trump's frustration towards anybody again willing to call out his involvement, or again just the Epstein files in general, which again is very telling, is very fucking showing to anybody that wants to be like, hey, I wonder where Donald Trump stands in this whole thing. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer. He's now actively demeaning and calling out people just for standing with the victims in this case. Which, again, if that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know about the man, then there's a lot more evidence out there that you need to read and go through that would absolutely give you major insights into not only his long-lasting relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and again, a lot of the major players, which it's something that's not talked about as well. We talk about and we focus upon, rightly so, Donald Trump's long-lasting relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. But what about these other players involved, right? What about these other high-profile individuals that I'm sure have deep in-depth connections to either Donald Trump, Donald Trump's companies? I'm sure they're all hanging around behind the scenes as well, which is another story, because if he's not just surrounding himself with Jeffrey Epstein, the ringleader, and Ghislaine Maxwell, the other ringleader, but also the other high-profile individuals involved in this, then again, doesn't that show his willingness to be in the crowd, his willingness to be included in this fucking sick, monstrous group of people? And if not, I don't know what does. But I very much appreciate you guys for joining me today on Blunt Politics. Another great episode in my view, but I'm biased. It's on you guys to tell me what you guys thought of the episode. If you like what you were seeing, if you like what you're hearing, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 15K. I haven't looked in a couple days, so hopefully we're getting close to that. You can sign up for a membership just underneath me. It's $2.99 for a single month. Goes a long, long way in helping this community. We're trying to get to 1,000 memberships. You can also gift memberships to some of the fabulous people in the chat. You can sign up at patreon.com/Boston Brian. Thank you, everybody who showed up for the Zoom call the other night. We had a fabulous one. They're getting better. They are very much getting better. We're getting more comfortable with everybody. Everybody's laughing. We're talking about other things other than politics. I think we went the entire time in the Zoom without bringing up Donald Trump or Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that. So again, we just kind of shoot the shit, more of a laid back interaction. Gets a little more intimate, as I say. So I appreciate everybody for joining me, everybody that came out. And don't forget that the VIP Zoom is coming up as well. We got the VIP Zoom coming up the 20th of November, and that is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. here on the Pacific Coast. So if you sign up for the patreon.com/Boston Brian before November 20th at the VIP level, that gets you access to that Zoom meeting. If not, at any other level, you'll be contacted and sent the link for our next month's, our December Zoom meeting. So that gets you involved there. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I apologize for the self-promotional bullshit, but having left my career as a plumber, diving into the world of politics, because I believe how important these situations are, and it wouldn't matter how much wealth or stability I had in my life if Donald Trump's going to get us into an active war with Venezuela, the Mexican cartels, and be stripping me of my rights all at the same time. So that's why I decided to make this choice. That's why I took a massive pay cut
to come on here, hop onto YouTube and try to build this base from the beginning. And I can't thank the OGs, and I can't thank all of you fantastic people, all of the mods that have been with me since the beginning. You're just absolutely fantastic. And every day I hope and pray that we can, grow this community so I can, spread the burden beyond, on a bigger crew. And I hate that, we're growing, but we're growing slowly, and it's left on such a small number of people that contribute every single show and do so much for this. And I just want to make sure that, I don't want to put anybody out of business or anybody on the street trying to make this work. And, the more people we have watching, the less that everybody individually needs to donate or come up with financially to make this channel work. So thank you so much, guys. Talk about the show in other chats, spread this in other communities, on other platforms, talk about it at the dinner table. If you have a friend or family member or coworker that you think might enjoy this type of content, might enjoy the chat and the camaraderie that you guys have built there in the chat, send it out to them. It means a lot. It goes a long way, and I very much appreciate it. Let's get into thanking some fabulous people here on Venmo. For anybody that sends into Venmo, there's a link right here. It takes you right to mine. Let me see if I can get in here. Not this second. Me accounts. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are unbelievable. You really are. Every show, there seems to be fantastic people that show their support, that show their love for this channel. And today is no different. Linda, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Damon, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And Victoria, thank you to you and Thomas as well. I appreciate you guys so much for everything that you guys do, for all your help, for all your contributions. Again, I ask for a dollar or two is all I ask for. Anything above and beyond that is totally up to you guys. And every single time, you guys come up with more than that. So thank you so much for your kind contributions. Let's get into thanking some people here on the old Venmos. Holy sugar. You guys have been amazing today. Unbelievable. Let's go. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's get into the shout outs. My favorite part of the show, thanking the individuals that are so nice, so generous, and so involved in these communities and involved in these issues, that they're just here showing up day in, day out, supporting these communities. And it's a fabulous thing to see. It's great that we've built this community here, and I can't thank you guys enough. JD, the man, the myth, the legend. What can we say about JD? Thank you so much for the 5 gifted, brother. Thank you so much for everything that you continuously do for this show. Very much appreciated. Shout out to you. Shout out to Angela. Thank you so much for the $5 there. One sentence in an email is not enough evidence for me to believe that Trump actually blew Bill Clinton. No, you know what? I don't think, like I said, I don't think anybody honestly believes the, to tell you that, I'll speak for myself. I don't think that people honestly believe that to be true, but it is definitely something that would get under the skin of Donald Trump and is going to be used to that effect, right? I'm sure we'll find out at some point what Bubba means or what Bubba is. And again, I'm not putting it past the fact that it could be Ghislaine Maxwell's horse for all we fucking know at this point, right? But, I think a lot of people are having a little bit of fun with this, Angela, and the connections between, Clinton's nickname and what was seen in the email. I think there's a little bit of that going on. So I appreciate you, Angela. Thank you so much for keeping us grounded as well. So we appreciate you. Debbie B, shout out to you. $5. Thank you so much for your contributions. I wonder if Bannon is still guiding MTG to take down Trump. Bannon is in the files too. Well, I think that would lead us to believe that he would kind of be instructing Trump to take down MTG, right? Like, so say if Bannon's in the Epstein files and MTG is fighting to release the Epstein files, it would probably make more sense if Bannon was kind of instructing Trump on ways to take down Marjorie Taylor Greene so that, inevitably the release of the Epstein files doesn't happen, incriminating Steve Bannon as well. Well, even more than he's been incriminating with the release of the, these emails already. But yeah, totally plausible. I appreciate you, Debbie, and your contribution. Definitely something that we need to continue to take a look at. And I thank you for your support. I really do. Shout out to you. I hope you have a great day. Neil, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for being here for 6 months. Neil says hello from the UK and balls to Trump. I appreciate that. Heroium Slava to you, my friend Neil. I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate your contributions. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your passion. And I appreciate you being here for 6 months. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Heroium Slava. Let's go. No, I missed one. Linda Lou. Let's go, Linda. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your 5 gifted memberships. Please make sure we're thanking Linda Lou for the 5 gifted memberships. She just threw into the old chat there for 5 amazing individuals. Thank you, Linda, for what you always do. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I really do. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's go. Yvonne there with the 10 pound. I appreciate that. At Boston Brian, it was really blowing last night. I was really surprised. Not no filter for Yvonne, and I love it. I love it. Like I said, I'm sure people are, in some regards, having a lot of fun with this, while also, trying to bring up just how, you never know what could be involved in the background here with Donald Trump. Again, we just, without the involvement or without the evidence of us having that smoking gun, all we have to go by is Donald Trump's rhetoric, his actions, how he's instructing his administration to handle this. And it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And you can listen to any of the MAGA commentators and they'll tell you the same thing. Well, you can listen to a few, at least, of the MAGA commentators, and they'll tell you the same thing. But it's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't. And Yvonne, I appreciate you so much for everything you do. I always have, and I always will. Appreciate you, and shout out Kunda Lunatic. Let's go. I appreciate that, Kunda, for becoming a YouTube member. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for giving us a shot. I really do appreciate that. Shout out to you. I hope you find a nice place there in the chat, nice community to get your opinions out there, engage in some conversation, some healthy debate. And I hope we can get through and sift through some of the bullshit of the mainstream media for you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That goes for Yvonne is back again, you fucking idiot. Boston Brian. Don Old Trump is just damn nasty. All he does is get really mad and shit himself. Oh, fuck. Oh, Yvonne, we love you so much. We really love you. Where would this community be without Yvonne? Where would we be? We appreciate you, Yvonne. Shout out to you. And Jess as well. And Danny, all of you guys. Jess, thank you and congratulations for 16 months of being a member. Family Day, you're on in the background. Love you, Brian. Unbelievable. Please make sure the family knows that I appreciate them. Tell them I all said hello. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. That goes for the pets. That goes for the people. That goes for all of you amazing people in that household. I appreciate you guys. We love you here at Blunt Politics. And thank you for all the support and everything that you do. Thank you, Jess. We appreciate you. Kunda Lunatic, look at that. Not only signing up for a new membership, but already gifting memberships to other people. That's when you know they're good people. That's when you know you found real individuals wanting to help the community. And I appreciate you all the more for it. Thank you, Kunda Lunatic, not only for signing up, but also the 5 gifted memberships. Please make sure we're reaching out to all of these fabulous people for their contributions, whether it be memberships, whether it be super stickers, whether it be, super chats, all of it. Please make sure we're thanking them. That would be very nice of you and be very meaningful to me. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark G. Shout out to you. To quote Rick Wilson, ETTD, everything Trump touches dies. Very well said. Too bad he can't reach himself at this point anymore. Sorry, Mark. I appreciate that. Oh, shiza. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, brother. But wouldn't that mean that Bill Clinton would have died a long time? I'm sorry. And I'm kidding, Debbie. I'm kidding. But I appreciate you, Mark. I kid. Thank you, Jess. Oh, you guys are incredible. Brian, Jess says, Brian, you are amazing. It's been a blast watching you grow into what you are today. You deserve all of the success you have and more. Love to you, Mel, and Logan. Love you, brother. Oh, my God. How fantastic are you? I mean, could you be any nicer? Honestly, could you be any fucking nicer, you two? Good Lord. You're just trying to get me to cry on camera. That's all you want. That's all you want. It's just what you feed off. No, I mean, thank you guys, literally from the bottom of my heart, from me, Mel, Logan, everybody here. Thank you so much for your kind contributions. I know it's not easy. I know it's tough times. And I know everybody needs every penny that they can get a hold of right now. So to see you guys, actively contributing to shows like this it shows a lot. It does show a lot about your passion. So thank you so much, Jess. I appreciate it. Tell Danny I said hello, Teague and everybody. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mark G again. Mark G chimes in and says, we should buy stock in chapstick with how much the people on Fox kiss the orange ass of Trump. Not a bad idea. I take them for more like, I don't know. They're probably more like comics people. No, because I like comics. I can't say that. That would be awful. What's like a really shitty chapstick they could use? Anyways, it's probably a discussion for another chat. But Mark G, I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you so much. That goes for Thomas. Tomas, thank you so much, brother. 21, huh? Seems like yesterday. 21 months. Let's fucking go, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your passion, your contributions to the channel, helping us grow every day. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you, Tomas. Thank you, Angela, again for the 5. Shout out to you. She says, an insult is always more cutting when you have to explain it. Am I right? Right. Yeah. No, that's it's always good. It's always good. It's a good joke. It always comes across good to the audience there when you have to explain the joke several times or explain the insult, which Fox News Republicans do on a regular basis. So Angela, you're spot on. I appreciate that. Thank you for your contributions. Slacks. Let's fucking go, Slacks, you unbelievable bastard, you. He says, Slava Ukraini. I say Heroyam Slava. He says love to you, and we say love right back. We had a nice visit with our daughter. That's amazing. She just left. Love to all the Bryantologists. Thank you in advance for all of your kind greetings. That's amazing. I hope you had the most wonderful time. I don't know what is like the movie nowadays or how old the daughter is, but hopefully you guys watched some good movies, spent some quality time together, and had a wonderful time. Thank you for chiming in at the end. We very much appreciate that. But again, wonderful to see that you guys are spending some time together. And again, I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your passion. Thank you so much for your loyalty, Slacks. We very much appreciate you, brother. Yvonne is back at it like a crack addict. Let's go. Donald, to be Jesus Christ. Oh, it's the way his mouth is shaped like a blow-up doll. Yvonne, Jesus, you must have been a fucking firecracker. Man, I just wish I could have been back in the day in some UK pub partying it up with Yvonne in her heyday. Not that the heyday is by any means over. I'm just, back. It would have been a sight to behold, Yvonne. We appreciate you. You are one for the record books, you are, and I appreciate you all the more for it. Thank you so much. Mark G, let's go. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar names, and this is what I mean, guys, is you guys are unbelievable every single show, and I feel every show I feel like increasingly more, not frustrated, but anxious that I'm reliant on, the same individuals to keep this going. And that's not what I want to do. So thank you so much for all of the new people that step up, all of the new people that contribute and, share the show out, like, subscribe, all of that, because it goes a long way in taking the burden off of these amazing individuals that, every single show step up in a major way. So thank you, Mark G. He says, Russia, 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 Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Absolutely. That's their calling sign. That's their card that they pass out every day. Kyle Jacobson, let's go, brother. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being here for 20 months. Congratulations to you. That goes for Allie B as well. Congratulations. Shout out to you. Gates' victim, 17, in a shelter, needed dental work. Gates' victim, is that Matt Gates we're referring to? Sorry, I just when I read the chat a little bit after, it's tough for me to kind of connect where in the show it went along with. But are we talking about a Matt Gates victim? My apologies. But anyway, I do appreciate your contributions. Thank you for contributing to the channel, contributing to the conversation. It goes a long way, and I appreciate you for it. Thank you so much. B, what's up, B? What up, bro? Hey, B, sorry I'm late. I started from the beginning since I don't want to miss a word. Keep calm and carry on. Well, keeping calm, not so much something I'm good at, but carrying on, definitely something I can handle. But B, I appreciate you as always, man. Always good to see you. Thank you for your contributions. Hope you, the family, and everybody else are well. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Why does I feel like I'm getting mugged in this seat? My shirt's all over the place. Like I'm in a fight. I don't know what the fuck's going on. All right, Burke, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. That goes with what's their name as well. Thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. You guys have been amazing today. Holy shit. All of you people signing up and contributing. Hopefully we're making our mark here. Hopefully we're making our mark. So what's their name? Thank you so much for signing up. Thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate that. I mean, what more can I say? Mark G again. Let's go, bro. He says, genius. Megyn Kelly 5 does not equal 15. What the fuck? Right. So just imagine, I just want you to, after this show, just kind of think about going in a public area, right? Not recording or anything, and being like, trying to justify Jeffrey Epstein sleeping with a 15-year-old and then being like, how are people going to react in this situation? Just contemplate that for a second, right? And just then it'll kind of give you a little insight as to how crazy what Megyn Kelly did and like people like Eric Bolling did on Piers Morgan's show the other night. So you're 100% right, Mark, 100% right. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Colleen, for the 20. You are amazing. Let's go. They are effing sick with the quote spin. Karma will get them. We are only hoping. We are only hoping. Thank you, Colleen, for your kind contributions, as always, to the channel. Thank you so much. And yes, they are very much fucking sickos. And hopefully Again, like I said, we're wishing karma to catch up at any day now, any point now. Oh, thank you, Jen. Let's go. Check your Cash App. So far, I made it to Georgia. Let's fucking go. And good luck in everything that you're taking on down there. We wish you the best from the Blunt Politics chat. Thank you so much for your kind contributions. Thank you so much for being a mod. Thank you so much for your volunteering, again, to make sure that chat stays a safe place. And again, we all wish you the best. Good luck down there. Stay safe. I know you're going to be that blue dot in the red state now, right? It's going to be a weird feeling. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Tell Eric I said what's up, please. Treva, let's go. Good to see you, Treva. Treva says, Trump should have just let Kamala win. Epstein would have been too much for her administration to cover, right? Well, again, one of the questions brought up, and I've brought this up on the show too. I think it's a very reasonable, legitimate question that has to be answered as to why this was not made more publicly available, why this wasn't a bigger talking point, why this wasn't a bigger priority during, past Democrat administrations, right? I mean, it's just, I don't think it's an egregious question. If we're going to harp on people for not releasing this shit, then we better fucking harp on everybody for not having released this shit. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Chinese, yellow, blue, black, Republican, fucking liberal, progressive. If you sat on this shit, or if it wasn't, your priority as an elected official to make sure that these victims got fucking accountability, these people saw justice, then I got some fucking words for you. That's just how we roll here on Blunt Politics, and I'm sorry if that aggravates anybody, but that's just how it fucking is, and that's how I'm gonna be. So, Treva, I appreciate you. You're 100% right in everything you're saying, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, George. Thank you. Congratulations on being here. Thank you so much on your contributions. I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5. George had a big week the other day. Big week the other week, I should say. That didn't make any sense. So we appreciate you, George. Thank you so much for showing up in a big way. We appreciate you, just like JD. I mean, you're just unbelievable individuals you guys are today. JD, thank you so much for the 10 there. Big, beautiful Bubba bonus. Yeah, the people are having fun with the big, beautiful Bill wordplay, right? And some of the, let's see, hold on. Let's see, we might as well play this. Yeah, might as well just for shits and giggles, right? Just for shits and giggles. You kind of have to at this point.
Man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women, but this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Okay. All right. Or where, hold on. This is probably, hold on, let me see. Just in case this pulls up anything I don't want to be put on stage. Just for shits and giggles. Here we go. Let me put this on this. There we go.
I came in today. I said, I came in today. I said, and this is after 4 of these things. I mean, in all fairness, I mean, I'm a human being, right? I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, it's too low. So I had to go.
Well, I mean, it's not like he doesn't look like he's had practice, right? I mean, it's not too out of the realm of possibilities. Looked like he's had some practice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. JD, I appreciate you, brother. Just saying, let's go. Thank you so much for the gifted membership. We are very much appreciative of you and everything that you do for this channel. Thank you so much, Arizona Sunflowers. As always, love for the show at Boston Brian. You and Mel make it a winner. Let's hit 15K. I can't thank you enough for your boost, for your kind words about the channel, for your show of appreciation to both Mel and I. It means a lot. It really does, Arizona Sunflowers. You've been a huge member of this community for a long time now, and we thank you for it. I just hope you guys know that it doesn't go unnoticed when you guys, show your support, when you guys stick around. The people that have been around for a long time, it's noticed, it's appreciated. It's, believe me, I have it in right here. Everybody that's been around, and I thank you for it. So Arizona, you're one of those, and thank you so much for everything you do. Let's go. And now, how do I say this? Do I say see ya? Is that how I pronounce that? See ya. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. If I am, please make sure to correct me in the chat. I hate to be mispronouncing names. So I'm going to go with what I believe it is see ya, with your unbelievably kind $20 contributions. Thank you so much. Thank you for your passion and commitment. Love to you and Mel. Right back to you. Thank you so much. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be possible without your support, without you guys watching and viewing and sharing and subscribing. It really wouldn't. So thank you so much for that incredibly generous contribution. That really means a lot. So we appreciate it here at Blunt Politics, and we hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you so much. Treva's back at it. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Wes jumping in here with the tree. Let's go. We did good. I almost stayed awake. No, Wes, we appreciate you, brother. You always liven up that Zoom. We appreciate you for doing so. And again, just for being one of the guys there, showing your support for the community. It means a lot to me. So thank you, Wes, for everything that you do, everything you bring, everything you add to the conversation. It's never a dull moment when Wes is around. You can fucking be damn sure about that one. So if not to come to the Zoom meetings to talk to me, if fucking Wes is involved, that's a Zoom meeting you guys don't want to miss. I promise you. I appreciate you, Wes. Thank you, brother. Ruben, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. You guys, we might hit 1,000 today. Fucking Christ. You guys are trying to get me there today, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ruben. My man, dude. Thank you so much, Jim, as well. Member for 18 months now, and I appreciate you that. Appreciate you for doing that, dude. I mean, really, fucking 18 months is a huge commitment, a long, long time, and I can't thank you enough. Jim, he says, Brian, mods, all the lobsters. Thank you so much. Right back to you, Jim. I mean, again, it wouldn't be possible without you, without the mods, without all of the community here. So thank you so much, Jim. Appreciate you. Peppa, let's go, Peppa. I love Peppa. Mel can attest. I think I use more Peppa than anybody on earth. That might be a fact. Member for 4 months. Let's fucking go. Happy to be here. Best host and best chat. Well, I appreciate that. I thought so myself about the chat, if I'm not going to lie. To be very honest, I definitely have been considered this to be the best chat on YouTube, definitely Twitch and Facebook, not even a contest. But as for like being the best host, I will never, ever say that about myself. But I am very, I very much appreciate the kind words that you guys bestow upon me. So thank you so much, Peppa. I appreciate you. Tell your brother Salt I said what's up. I use a lot of him as well. Just kidding, but Peppa, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Jenny Faye, what's happening, sunshine? How are you? Some last minute love to you, Mel, Logan, Pops, mods, and fellow lobsters. I've been busy around the house listening today. Hope all the cool kids have a great week. Right back at you. You're always doing double duty. You're always doing something extremely important while also trying to stay involved and informed on the show. And it's just so much respect for you for doing it that way. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for staying involved. Thank you so much for your long-lasting contributions and commitment to this show. I can't say thank you enough to you guys. I really can't. And we continue. Just what a show. What a show. You guys are incredible. Thank you again, Jen. I turned down the crown so I could be politic. Oh, really? Did I say politic? Is that a word? Why doesn't that seem right to me? Political. Maybe it cut off. I was wondering why I thought I just had a stroke. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, that's a bummer too. I mean, it's tough when I don't have the lights on. Nobody even told me in the background. What's the deal? Hold on. What's the deal? My lights ain't on. All right, well, I guess that works. They're supposed to be blue, but I guess I'll do multicolored. Well, we appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you, turning down these golden crowns that Donald Trump loves to accept so that you can continue to, show your opinion and voice your support for, your political beliefs, Jen. So we appreciate you. Congratulations on everything that you've managed to accomplish on your journey. And keep representing. Chewy, let's fucking go, you unbelievable bastard, you. 20 gifted memberships to the Boston Brian community. Please make sure we're thanking Chewy for those fucking unbelievably generous gifted memberships. To anybody that either got them or didn't receive them, it's still a huge boost to the community. So Chewy, much respect, brother. Thank you so much for everything you do. We appreciate you for stopping by. And thank you so much for your kind contributions. And we're still going. Mark G. I mean, you guys are unbelievable. Mark's had a huge day. Ruben, unbelievable. Thank you so much, Flipper. Says, thanks for another great show, Brian. I appreciate you, Flipper. Another one of these people that just always around, continuously supporting the show, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Same thing with Jerry. Chewy again. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava, back to you, Jerry, and love right back to you from everybody here. Same thing for Chewy. Aloha from everybody. I think it's actually raining today again. It's been pouring here in old Orange County for the last couple days, and I mean like fucking kind of like New England type rain. I actually fell asleep for the first time since I got here last night to the sound of rain hitting the window. Just not something I was used to here. So, but it is putting a damper on putting up the Christmas lights. I got to say, we're trying to get ahead of the game here, but fucking figures the moment I'm trying to get out on a ladder in California, it decides to fucking piss it down with rain. But what are you going to do? That's just my luck. But thank you, Chewy. I appreciate you. Allie B, what's good in the hood? I appreciate you. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. And shout out to you for the 5 gifted membership. Just an unbelievable crew here. Unbelievable crew. And then to round it out, the myth, the legend, the man himself, Bicycle Mike in the motherfucking house. Thank you, Bicycle Mike. I hope you're well, brother. How are you doing? How is everything? Please fill us in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted membership. Thank you so much for your contribution, and thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys Tuesday. That's going to do it for me here on Blonde Politics. I'm Boston Brian for the Sunday show. I'll see you again Tuesday, and then we got 2 shows on Wednesday, and then a Thursday show, and then we repeat. I'll see you again Sunday after that. So again, Tuesday, next show, 2 podcasts we do on Wednesday. We do one at 1 o'clock Eastern. 10 a.m. here on the West Coast, and then we do another one later on that night at 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 here on the West Coast, and then we do our Thursday show same time as the Tuesday show, which is 2 o'clock on the East Coast and 11 a.m. here on the West Coast. So again, to all of you unbelievable people who had just an amazing day of contributing to this channel, showing your support, showing your passion, I can't thank you enough. I really can't. I wish I could. I wish I knew how. I'm just going to double check here to make sure that I didn't miss anybody on the old Venmo side of things. Jen said to pull up my Cash App too. I don't want to miss that as well. Let me see. So yes, thank you, Linda, Damon, and Victoria on Venmo. Let me see if I can go to the old Cash App machine. Oh, Jen, come on. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Jen, for that. That's just unbelievable. Thank you so much for that kind contribution. Just right in line with what you've been doing this whole time as you support this show. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I am very much just as appreciative today as I ever have been in the entire time that we've been running this show, if not more so now, considering how long you guys have been joining me on this journey. So, all right, I'll see you Tuesday before I get all sloppy and soppy here. I appreciate you guys. Keep hammering these points home, ladies and gentlemen. Keep hammering these points home, whether it's, Epstein, whether it's, Donald Trump's involvement in what's going on with ICE inside of our country, how difficult he's made your life, the wars, the active wars that he's getting us involved in, how he's not supporting our allies. And again, we'll have to discuss this, the scandal and, some more about the front line, what's going on the front line in Ukraine on Tuesday's show. My apologies for running out of time today on that one. I try to dive into a little bit of Ukraine, at least on every show, but a lot of this bullshit that we were talking about took up a lot of the airtime. So I appreciate you guys. Hit that like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel, please. If you like what you were hearing, if you like what you're seeing, if you stuck around for any, period of time, if you like to find a friend in the chat, whatever, I think that should be worth the like. It should be worth the subscription. And please share this out to friends, family members, coworkers, anybody you can. Goes a long way. Again, this is the career that I'm choosing. This is the most, the most serious and most important thing that I think I could be doing in today's day and age, especially, facing the issues, facing the problems and the dangers that we face on, on a daily basis here with this regime, with this Republican Party. And it's not going to die out with Donald Trump, unfortunately. This is going to be a long and an ongoing process, along an ongoing battle for some time to come here, even after Donald Trump is dead and buried. So I appreciate you guys. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I will see you Tuesday. Stay proud, stay loud, stay aggressive. Find your nearest protest, find your nearest rally, but keep your head on a swivel out there. Make sure you're staying safe. Keep kicking ass, ladies and gentlemen. We have the momentum. We may have lost it for just the most slightest bit of time there, but we have managed to regain that in a major way. So let's continue to feed that snowball down the hill and just watch it grow. All right. I appreciate you guys. Mods, you're just unbelievable. Can't say enough about you. Can't thank you enough on every platform, whoever you are, wherever you are. You just thank you for your time, which is the most important thing in your life. I can't thank you enough. So appreciate you. Let's get out of here. You guys go support other independent creators, any other show that keeps you informed and up to date. And I will see you guys Tuesday. All right. Peace. Love you guys. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Just a huge showing today of support, and I can't thank you enough. Mama Brooke, I appreciate you for noticing. Thank you to all the mods, JD, thank you all of you, Yacht Club, everybody. Thank you, Dad. I love you big time. I appreciate the support, big guy. And I love and wish you very much.
You know, they're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated?
He says rectum damn near killed him.
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general. And they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys. But it was too late. Water coming here is dead. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will
He says rectum damn near killed him. Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses. What in the hell was that all about?
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
Like we always do about this time.
You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that guy very well. I got to know him very well. For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands. Oh, get those lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off!
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
I can just tell you that a con artist is about to take over the Republican Party and the conservative movement, and we have to put a stop to it.
Go fuck yourself. I said mud. I said crud. You fall into some crud or something?
They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands. The big, fat, sloppy United States.